Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the King Leo Show. I'm your host, King Leo. Happy Black History Century. We're a little late tonight. We're a little late. I will admit, we're a little late. Okay, we were early. We were on time, and now I was 2 or 3 minutes late. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the King Leo Show. I'm your host, King Leo. Happy Black. Our audio is good at least. How's everyone doing tonight, man? I'm sorry. I may be a little low energy. I had a actual cortisol spike. I'm not just being ridiculous in saying that or anything. This dude falling from the tree or the tree branch hitting me was I didn't feel anything in the moment. You know, this giant tree branch falling on me. But I asked ChatGPT. No, I asked Gemini. ChatGPT is terrible. What's happening? Why am I so low energy? And it said that regardless of what you felt in the moment, you are feeling cortisol and adrenaline in your body. Okay. And now I'm kind of in some pain up here, but mostly I'm just tired. So I'm sorry I'm a little low energy tonight, guys, but it's just it was a terrible thing. I really am not. I'm getting too old for this shit. How's everyone doing tonight, man? We have a lot to talk about today. President Trump, the biggest update is that his tariffs have been canceled. My Baudrillardians will not be surprised to know that they actually weren't. The tariffs were not really here to begin with. The tariffs will not be here. We have always been at war with Eurasia. We're really living in interesting times. But what I thought was most interesting was his attack on the Supreme Court, President Trump saying that they were bought out by foreign influence. I've never seen a claim like that from a president. I want to ask later on Gemini Live here if that's ever happened before. And I'm very curious as to how that's going to play because I've literally never seen anyone do that before. I've never seen it. But because of all this, I think that for our Black person of the day, for Black History Month, we're gonna pick someone a little out of left field, someone that I think a lot of people don't like him actually, but is a very important man who I think is actually is I, I think that everyone is taking a page out of his book. How you doing, Eves? Go to the doc. No, I'm okay. I really am okay. I don't feel any. I didn't hit my head. I didn't hit my back or anything. So I'm fine. Is that what the thing is? That's what the robot, you know, the ChatGPT was telling me. It was like, are you feeling head trauma? I was absolutely not. I'm fine. My spine is okay. But I just feel incredibly tired. And it says it's just the adrenaline. You get adrenaline in these moments, you know. And how you doing, Efra? I appreciate you. We'll be okay probably within the next 3 days. I got some nasty scars. I'm not wearing the Band-Aids tonight. Look at that. I got like these here, got one here. It's been a little painful. Got some off my finger, but it's okay. I'm Hispanic. We are fruit pickers. We are landscapers. We are car mechanics. It's not something outside of my territory. All right, so let's get into it, okay? Efra says the thing about the tariffs being canceled, I think this will ultimately lead to the AI bubble popping. But Ephraim, we'll get into it. I don't think they're actually canceled. This is a very weird decision. All right, let's do Black Person of the Day because this man here, who people don't really like in our chat, is the man that is leading the century. He is leading the ideology of Donald Trump at this point, all right?
You have to think, young brother, about your future.
Take it from me, someday we'll all be free.
Now, you're not going to believe this, okay? But the Black Person of the Day is a tether, okay? He's not actually, you ain't black, okay? But we all remember him justifying his legislation by saying it's not a tax. He was a Baudrillardian in a lot of ways, and we see President Trump doing this. So I want to play here one of my favorite quotes from the ultimate troll in chief, the Black Person of the Day. We're making an exception. Normally we go black, you know, American black. We're going to go with Barack Hussein Obama today, fellas. We're going to go with Barack Hussein Obama. I'm going to play here one of his legendary clips, one of the best troll clips, one of the ones that pissed everyone off.
If you were successful, somebody along the line gave you some help. There was a great teacher somewhere in your life. Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we have that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, that you didn't build that.
You didn't build that.
Somebody else made that happen.
This man here, man, I don't even have to go into who Obama was, right? We all know who Obama was and is. Obama's one of the worst presidents the country's had. Bad recovery, from 08. Not great for the social fabric of the country. How you doing, 5280? SCOTUS decision doesn't affect ish. I agree. We're going to get into that. He was the troll in chief. I really think he was just a rage baiter in chief. That's what he did. And normally we on this segment, we try to get people that had a lot of impact, people that are understated, that we don't know their impact. Like Jack Johnson, Marvin Gaye, Ray Charles. But today, I wanted to do Obama because Obama, he was the president that took the Baudrillardianism of George Bush and applied it to domestic policy front. Like, he was able to pass the ACA, keep this in mind, with the penalty that if you didn't pay your insurance, you would get taxed for that, and win at the Supreme Court by claiming that it wasn't actually a tax, which for anyone that's followed this somewhat today, you'll see that this is perfectly in line with what we're talking about today. So for that reason, Barack Obama is our black person of the day. Who would have thought a tether is our black person of the day? Let's do our plugs, and then we'll get into Schizo Watch, all right? I know that's a real troll choice. I know we don't have any Obama fans here, but the man did a lot. He did a lot. All right. First plug, the Discord server. I finally got active in here today. Here it is. It's free to join. The link is in the description, but there's also a paid tier, which you can get through Patreon, which is $5 or $20 a month. That gets you a King Leo Movie Club weekly episode, and hopefully more soon. I got to get into it. All right, here you have everything here. We already have Audio Vibes and Eves in there. Appreciate that. And we have the What Would a Postmodernist Do bracelet available on the coffee link in the description. All right. Those are our plugs. We got that out of the way. How's everyone? Everyone should be happy. It's Friday, and you know why you should be happy? Because it's the best day of the week. It's the day that we get to hear from Bill Maher and all of his infinite wisdom, right? All right. Let's get into Schizo Watch. Ian says, historical dude, no doubt. 57 states, Harvard professor. Yeah, absolutely. Obama was a historical, I wouldn't say a impactful, but definitely a historical figure. I completely agree. Let's get into it here. Let's play us in. 1 second. Sorry, I'm a little slow again, guys. Sorry. So firstly, I wanted to play here this clip. This is Andy Frisella. I hadn't heard of this guy. Let's make this big so you can see, okay? Andy Frisella, who is sort of a motivational, like that kind of red pill type of thing. Personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. Very Jocko Willink, society is masking us. Don't be a hoe, share the show. Yeah, okay. I assume, like anyone, dude, like all of this stuff that's coming, all of these types of podcasters like Andrew Schultz, like Joe Rogan, that have got involved in politics, they're in over their head. They don't really know what they're talking about. And I wanted to show you here, whether you love or hate Jeffrey Epstein, ladies and gentlemen. This is really something here. I've never heard this logic about Mr. Epstein. Let's hear how a seasoned political analyst like Mr. Frisella can break down what's actually going on.
I see it differently than most everybody did.
Yeah.
I see the public being intentionally enraged in order to put pressure so that the people can be held accountable. That's what the fuck I see.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I could be wrong. Okay? And that's why I say, hey, you can't count on that.
Yeah.
And you have to do your part to organize and get involved in all these things that we talk about.
In the event that fails.
Correct. The problem is I can't think of another way to do it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can't think of another way to arrest heads of, government or
without just saying fuck everybody, fuck the optics, don't give a shit. Like
no, because dude, if you don't have the public approval for that, you're the one that ends up getting held accountable. You don't think that Trump knows that?
Hmm.
This isn't like, cause dude, like if we find out Trump's involved in this,
okay, cool,
wood
easy.
chipper,
Done.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah. Like this is not loyalty to anybody. This is me evaluating strategically how you would actually do it in real life. I mean, we all like to say, fucking do it. But if he had come in on the first day and arrested all these people, 90% of the people thought all this shit was fake.
Right.
Okay. And most people have no idea how deep the fraud has been.
Yeah, that's just the iceberg.
Right.
And
so
the whole rest of it's underneath.
Right. You have all these things coming to light at once. And then you look back at like how he handled Venezuela and Greenland and strategically pretty much guaranteed like that no country can like be in control of what happens after that, something like to me, dude, you don't think that Trump knows that like if he fucking did this, that he would go down in history as the greatest president of all time? You don't think he fucking knows that?
Yeah,
and by the way,
so.
I've seen other people saying this shit now.
Yeah, what's
okay.
that?
Saying what I'm saying right now, that this is a strategic play. But let's just remember who said it first when nobody was fucking saying shit.
Yeah.
Whenever, because now we're starting to see other people with podcasts
I get it
who are
now.
very popular saying what I'm saying. And I would just like to remind everybody that that was my fucking brain that thought that out.
Yeah, it's not-
Excellent stuff, man. Excellent.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
That is great stuff. Whether you love or hate President Trump, I think we're all kind of fed up with the 4D chess Trump, 5D chess Trump hope that we saw a lot in the first term, man. No, I don't think that the jacked, cap wearing, tattooed up, veneer implanted guy here, Andy Frisella, is onto something. I don't think that Trump is trying to make you angry at Jeffrey Epstein by releasing the files so that he has the political permission to arrest everyone. I really don't think, call me naive, I don't think that that's how this, I think this is cope. Further, I would say, and I need to add this on, dude, my producer's the one who put me on to this point, and my parents did too, actually, when I was a kid. We are living through this alien thing now where everyone says aliens exist. And we had the Epstein story, we had Greenland. This is all distractions. And I don't mean this in the sense of, like it's a distraction. It doesn't really matter. I mean it more in the sense of they're using this stuff in order for you to be talking about something insignificant, something that's non-consequential, while they get away with everything else. Okay? For example, I didn't know this till today. You know, in the Genius Act, which Trump passed last year, you could have set up your own bank legally with very little regulation. But meanwhile, we were all arguing about Greenland and other crap. This Epstein stuff, no, I don't think that Trump is doing 4D chess to make Epstein unpopular with us by releasing these files. And in case he's involved, we can wood chipper him, as this gentleman says here. I wouldn't say that. That's not polite to the Secret Service. What are you talking about, man? Why are people infecting their audiences with these ideas? No, I don't think this is true. I don't think that Trump is playing 5D chess, and I don't think he's trying to make us angry enough that he gets to arrest everyone. I don't think that's how it works. I don't see any indication of that. And I'm becoming a real scientist, like Occam's razor. People have been asserting a lot of stuff with no evidence, man. And if it can be asserted without evidence, then it can be discarded without evidence. Where is the evidence? I remember hearing this during the first term a lot. You know, Trump is doing 4D chess. That's why he deputized everyone during the Summer of Love. No, he's not doing that. He's just It's just distractions, and everyone's in on it. Everyone is in on it, man. It shouldn't surprise you. This is all bread and circus, and it really is not disappointing to see this, because I'm a Bajalardi and I don't get disappointed. This is what you'd expect, right? But why are they infecting this into you? You shouldn't be thinking about how it's 4D chess. You should be focused on what Scott Besson said today, right? If you want to make some money, right? We light a cigar and laugh. That's what we do on this channel. But also, you could start making some money. You could start moving things around, but you don't, because everyone's talking about this. How you doing, Robert? Robert says, we are in the company of a super genius. Yes, sir. Yes, we. How you doing, sir? How's Las Vegas? Efra says, they give you the fantastical hand to distract you and punch you with the other. I blame Hollywood for brainwashing people into the fantastical BS. I completely agree, Efra. But at some point, people have to take responsibility. And when you see this type of claim on a podcast, I'm not going to denigrate anyone or tell them that it's bad or whatever. But, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not saying unsubscribe. I would never say that to someone. This is ridiculous. If someone is saying this to you, they want you to stay poor and shackled and fighting, tilting at windmills, which at least there was some honor in that when Don Quixote did it. This is just a waste of your time. Aiden says something about a prophet. Not sure what you're talking about. Eve says the territory predicts the maps. Thanks, Kilo. Yeah, the map precedes the territory is the Baudrillardian quote. And in this case, I'm not sure it exactly applies, but yes, the map, which is that which comes before, like your idea of something, is creating that reality because you interpret it through your understanding. And it does relate, actually, because if you're now understanding that Jeffrey Epstein is part of a 4D chess move by President Trump to arrest everyone, then you are a schizophrenic. You have been made schizophrenic, in my view. All right, maybe I'm completely wrong. Let's continue. I have to show you here Mike Selig, who is here. He is the chairman of the CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, okay? And here he's talking about gambling. I think this is very important and underreported in a lot of ways, okay?
CFTC Chairman Mike Selig here. Over the past year, American prediction markets have been hit with an onslaught of state-led litigation. In response, the CFTC has today filed a friend of the court brief to defend its exclusive jurisdiction over these derivative markets. Prediction markets aren't new. The CFTC has regulated these markets for over 2 decades. They provide useful functions for society by allowing everyday Americans to hedge commercial risks like increases in temperature and energy price spikes. They also serve as an important check on our news media and our information streams. Today, the CFTC is taking an important step to ensure that these markets have a place here in America and have the integrity and resilience and vibrancy that our derivatives markets deserve. To those who seek to challenge our authority in this space, let me be clear. We will see you in court.
So for anyone that didn't really understand, he's talking about gambling. He's talking about prediction markets, which is Poly Market, and what are the other ones? Kalshi, etc. Because Chris Christie is currently trying to ban them, probably because he has some interest in New Jersey, right? But the more important thing here is this. The government, for the first time in history, I think, is fighting for your right to gamble. And I'm not one of these guys that says ban gambling or anything like this, because we're at a point where we should accelerate it. Everyone should be gambling all the time. You should gamble on what time you get to work and get a bonus off of that. That's what we should do, because this is the direction the world is going in anyway. But I really think that this is, the way they're selling this is that you as a gambler get to have leverage on the news media. You get to tell the news the reality with your dollar. And while that may be true historically of gambling markets, I don't think that that's what's happening. I think if you're betting on which team is going to win the Super Bowl on Poly Market, that's just gambling. That's not really a prediction market. technically, sure, the NFL is just entertainment. It's not actually a sport. So you're kind of sifting through the reality of what the NFL actually is and getting towards the truth somehow. But the government fighting for your right to gamble is really something. And this is under discussed with Tucker Carlson when he's not talking about the way that gay people live their life. He's talking about how gambling is destroying the lives of young men. And that may be true, it may not be true, it doesn't really matter here. I just think that it's really something when the government comes in and tells us that you as a consumer, the ultimate power of your expression is not even the vote, it is the ability to gamble money on a corporation's website. That's really something, man. That is really something. I would not tell you that your right to gamble, it would be in the Constitution, right? It would say your right to gamble. We have the right to gamble, that's true. And I think it's probably better that it's legal than not. Everything should be legal or decriminalized at this point. But this is really something, man. Like fighting for the rights. We're going to fight for your right to party. No, to gamble, to gamble. That is a directive that we have never seen. So it's important to point out. Let's continue. We have here Matt Walsh, again, another punching bag of the show. Let's see what his view on crime and punishment is. And it's very enlightened.
What do we think about the cost-benefit analysis there? Look, I've been making this point for a long time. As a society, we have two choices. Okay, only two. Either we are going to inflict severe, merciless suffering on the criminals, the violent degenerates, the sociopathic predators, the dysfunctional, the barbaric, or we're going to allow severe, merciless suffering to be inflicted on the innocent. The women sitting on the train after work, the pedestrians walking their dogs in the park, the Uber drivers, the gas station clerks, and so on. One group or the other is going to be made to feel immense suffering. One group or the other is going to be met with brutality and violence. There's no third option, at least not for us. Now, other countries may be able to find a middle path. Japan is one of the safest countries in the world. It's also completely homogenous. 98% of Japanese citizens are ethnically Japanese. They are a small, homogenous country where everybody shares the same culture, same values, same priorities, the same fear of public shame and embarrassment. And yet, even in Japan, the death penalty is mandated in their penal code. They don't use it often, but when they do use it, the accused finds out their execution date on the day of the execution. And then they're taken off to be hanged without any further appeal. So Japan's secret sauce is homogeneity with severe and lethal punishment dispensed on the rare occasion when it's necessary. That is not our situation. We are a very big country. We are, as we're always reminded, very diverse. So we are left with the two options I just outlined. Severe, brutal, ugly punishment of the guilty, or severe, brutal, ugly punishment of the innocent. Either the former or the latter. To choose neither, to refuse to choose, is to choose the latter.
No, I don't think that refusing to choose whether we should inflict punishment of brutality on people accused of a crime or convicted, or choosing brutality on normal people are the I don't think those are the choices. I don't understand this. This is very Megyn Kelly. The mainstream rightoid Republicans like this are starting to get really comfortable with the idea of like a Russian style justice system or a Sharia system where we have to punish people with torture, pain, excruciating conditions. I think there may be an amendment that prohibits this. I think in the Constitution, there may be something that says you can't do that. And it's coming to me now. It's the 8th Amendment. Oh, cruel and unusual punishment is illegal in this country. Oh, I guess I remember learning that in the 5th grade. Wow. Oh my God. What do these people want? This is insanity. They are all proscribing death sentences, torture, a bunch of like evil, fundamentally non-Western, to go there, punishments on people. This is sick stuff. Who are you? Matt Walsh is not a lawyer. Matt Walsh is not a judge. He has the podcast. Who are you to proscribe drawing and quartering someone for shoplifting? Like, who are you to do that? And it would be fine in a vacuum, an opinion you hear at a party or whatever. He is literally transmitting this to his millions of followers, that it's a good idea that we suddenly become Russia or, I don't know, Afghanistan, or what is... In Venezuela, they did this. Then we should be allies with Venezuela. It's good stuff to just brutally punish people. There are several schools of thought on incarceration and penology. And some of them are punishment, some of them are rehabilitation. I myself am a death penalty person, personally. But I'm not saying that we should be liberally applying this stuff to avoid the punishment of the innocent. This is not American, sir. This is fundamentally un-American. This is against the 8th Amendment, one of our most pristine amendments we have. This is a sick, sick man. Imagine saying that to your audience. We should start torturing people to death. Abu Ghraib was justified then, because if not, people will suffer on the outside. What if we found another solution? This binary choice crap, this is hypnotism. This is not how the world works. There are millions of choices out there. Sick stuff. Sick stuff. Let's continue, man. Wanted to show you this. This is a trailer here. And the reason I'm showing you this is guys, I've said it before and I'm expressing it again. The World War II stuff, I'm really tired of. Look, Hollywood already sucks. All the movies are terrible. But now we're going back and doing Steven Spielberg movies again. Let's watch a little bit of this trailer here to see what the latest Brendan Fraser project is.
The final decision on the timing of D-Day will be mine, and mine alone.
Call General Eisenhower.
Tiger was a training op, dress rehearsal for D-Day. They walked right into it. One mistake. Just that one mistake.
Ike, you have to stop doing this to yourself. What's done is done. Group Captain Dr. James Stagg, here at the express request of General Eisenhower.
Do we have a date yet for the invasion zone?
D-Day is in 61 hours.
We already did this movie. We did it in 1999. Why are we doing this movie again? I don't care anymore. I've been to Normandy. I've been to the American Cemetery. I don't care anymore. Who is still buying tickets to this? Steven Spielberg already did it, and it was good. It was called Saving Private Ryan. Why are we still doing this? Is there a demand here? Why are we doing this? Why? There are so many more wars to choose from in this country. Why are we doing this? I would like to see an Eisenhower movie, maybe about his presidency. Why are we still doing? We already had this movie. We had it already. We had the TV show too. We had Band of Brothers. It was pretty good. This is what they could have fed 1 million families in Namibia for what this movie costs. Why are we still doing this? It's not fresh. It's not new. At this point, I wonder who is financing this? The military normally takes part in these movies. Why are you still financing this? I would like to see a movie about the Maduro raid or Grenada or Panama. Why are we still doing these movies? They've all been done before. What other World War II conflict are we going to do? All of this money just sucked up here to make the movie that Steven Spielberg already made. This is why we need some Stalinism, folks. This waste of money is just, it's really something. It's really something. With all the money they've spent on movies like this, the Marvel franchise, the DC franchise, we could have housed at least 20,000 people in this country, paid off their mortgage, property tax paid in perpetuity. This is just getting silly. It's getting silly. Robert says the whale commander, and it's called programming. The thing is, Robert, I agree. It's probably programming to prepare us for future wars, but this one isn't even relevant. We would never do another D-Day. Like, that would not happen. We have invisible planes now, right? So are these movies, at least Top Gun, which I wasn't a huge fan of, was modern. It was new. Now we're revamping 90s movies. I don't get it. I don't get the American obsession, World War II. I get it. It was cool. Thank you for World War II. Can we move to another movie? Another period of time? I don't know. Adrian, how you doing, Adrian? Let's continue. It's just ridiculous to me. I wanted to show you this here. I'm actually a fan of this young man, Caleb Hammer, who helps people get out of debt. And I wanted to show you something here where now we have Caleb on Fox Business, which is really, I'm actually impressed with this. I don't think Caleb actually schizos up the country. I think he tries to get people out of debt if you really want to do that. I'm not saying you should be debt maxing, but if the government's treating the dollar the way it is, are you really going to treat the dollar the way the government is not treating it? Let's watch him a little bit on Fox News. I thought this was interesting.
Labubu, the Labubu thing that was sweeping the world just a couple months ago. We had guests every single week that were maxing out credit cards just to get the next Labubu because it's posted everywhere online. And now we're not in the era of Beanie Baby trends lasting for years. We're in the micro trend where things get replaced every single month and people just have to be a part of the next thing. You don't want to miss it. And it's a huge part of our culture. But that's why I am happy that many states around the country, now more than half the states, have a personal finance class that is required to graduate from grade school. So hopefully we're fighting back on that end as well.
Okay,
Buckle up here.
Caleb, Mr. Debt and Apple Pie might have a question for you here. Larry Kudlow himself.
Well, look, I think what you just said is very good. I mean, any education regarding personal finance is a very good thing, and I don't doubt that a lot of people mismanage their credit cards. I don't doubt it, but I will say this: household wealth in this country through the end of last year is $180 trillion. $180 trillion. Okay, that's everything: stocks, bonds, homes, cash. Blah blah blah, and less liabilities, less credit card debt. So your number 1.28 trillion. I think that was the number of credit card debt.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, but 180 trillion is bigger than that. Actually, I'd go a step further because I do believe debt is as American as apple pie. Sure. The country was founded on debt. Alexander Hamilton, God bless him. I just spoke to him a few weeks ago.
We are never going to fix the finances of this. The problem I have here is I like Caleb. I like him. And I'm sure a lot of the people on his show, I've seen them, they spend money frivolously. They use credit cards irresponsibly. But ladies and gentlemen, this whole debate, it's fruitless in my view. It is going to become impossible to save money. You are going to be a chump for saving money within the next 15 to 18 months. They are devaluing the dollar, and they're literally telling you they're doing that. They're making things more expensive for you by the day. And you can be angry about it, which I don't think is very useful. I'm not a guy who says that you should be angry about stuff. But I think it's a tough conversation to get a little bigger. I'm sure this improves people's lives somewhat. But when we look at the wealthy, I think I'll use this as an opportunity here. I see here that people are starting to, the left in this country mostly, is starting to advocate that there are unrealized capital gains taxes. And I think that that's a bad decision. And not for the reason that people say, like, oh, Elon Musk could use that money more effectively if he's not taxed on it. Not because of that. Because the left in this country has this pernicious habit where they constantly feel the need to regulate, where I am of the opposite. I am on the acceleration side. I am a Baudrillardian. And what I would like to see is that if Elon Musk doesn't pay income taxes because he's paid in stock and he can borrow against it, why don't we demand that we are also paid in stock, that we can also borrow against it in perpetuity? Why would we not go there? If you work at Walmart, you receive your $50,000 a year salary in stock, and then you can borrow against it. Shutting down opportunities does not yield you a better result. You should be looking for those opportunities for yourself. You have to pretend harder than they are. I bet you if you started demanding that, they would quickly pass a capital gains tax, a unrealized gains tax. They would actually do it if you demanded that. But people don't demand it. They don't demand it. Everyone wants to regulate or pick up pennies in front of steamrollers, which is unfortunately what I see. And that's my only criticism of Caleb. I like his show. I'm sure he's improved people's lives. But the problem is that you're not going to get ahead by paying off your credit cards anymore. They're devaluing the dollar by the day. You can pay them off. Tomorrow, literally next month, computers are going to go up 30% in price. That's going to happen. There's no way around it. So you have to get more creative. You've got to be a little bit more creative. Just my opinion. Eve says, hey, King Leo, earlier you made a comment about we should invest dollars like the government invests dollars. Is that what you said, good sir? I'm not giving financial advice, Eves. All I'm saying is the government is treating the dollar like a cheap hooker at this point. They don't care. They are spending so much money. So this is the interest payments are outpacing the debt. Okay. So why would we treat our finances in a different way? By saving money, this is not financial advice. I really feel you're missing out. I'm not telling you to do high leverage plays. I'm not telling you to get in the market. It's too expensive right now, in my opinion. Just my opinion, not financial advice. But why would we treat our dollar any more respectfully than the government does? This is how the middle class gets squeezed in this country, by being enforced these bourgeois values that are no longer applicable. That's just my view. Effer sends a lot of chats. Wow. Effer says, access shifts to the bigger player because costs are high. Only large corporations consistently afford the infrastructure. Smaller companies and consumers get priced out, concentrating access and control. I'm going to read the rest of these on the replay, Effer, because I like them. But I completely agree with you. We have to start treating ourselves as corporations. That is the end stage of this experiment. So why not? Why not? And here we're going to go with... we won't end with this one. Firstly, I want to give this one here. Anna Kasparian, Latino ally over here. The Armenians and the Latinos, who knew that we would not be friends? We can be friends. Look at Anna Kasparian here, defending Marco Rubio and Spanish heritage in the United States.
Okay. Look, as much as it pains me to say it, Rubio was right. Okay, so vaquero is a Spanish word, and horses and cattle were introduced to Mexico by the Spaniards, by the Spanish settlers. Look, I get the worldview of white people bad, but you've got to get out of that. And you have, please, you can't take the context of race issues from the United States and somehow apply it to foreign policy. And I just don't know why she did this.
No, I just gotta say, that was super cringe.
Wow. Every day I see something and I'm like, damn, it's going bad for us Latinos. And then suddenly Marco Rubio pulls us back in. We're getting some respect. We're getting a little respect. The Armenian and the Turk are telling us that we invented the cowboy. Thank you. It's about time. We need to get a little respect. We have people saying Latinos can time travel and we should harvest their brains for gold or whatever. This is a positive. I'm very happy to see it, Anna. I'm very happy to see that we Latinos and the Armenians, we can all get along. And we can get along with the Turks and the Armenians. We can get along with everyone. Thank you for giving us a little credit. We did bring the horses to the American continent. Thank you for that. And finally, I want to show you here, Jesse Waters, the worst looking man in showbiz, saying, really striking a meta chord here. Let's see here what he has to say.
For more social programs despite the fraud. I'm going to give the billionaires some advice.
Oh, wow.
Because the wealth gap's the widest it's been since the roaring 20s, which Greg remembers was a lot of fun. And what happens, you have a great time, and then the market tanks, and then the politicians punish successful people, like FDR. So you got to get out ahead of this. And you got to employ the bread and circuses strategy that they used to do in the ancient Roman times, when wealthy emperors used to just throw lavish banquets and festivals and make the gladiators fight. So you feed and entertain the public in order to show how generous you are and maintain the social order. So if you're a billionaire in California, before the peasants start storming the castle, how about this? How about you buy everybody there a $1 value meal at McDonald's? How about you do an Oprah? Free cars! How about you buy maybe everybody at Skid Row a one-way ticket to Thailand? That also gets them out of town. Or make the homeless people in Skid Row fight like gladiators. Entertain us. Do something big and bold. Big and bold we're going for. Not necessarily that idea, but other ideas like that.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
These people, man, these people are shameless. They are animals. No, I don't think we should have bum fights to please the general population. I really am at a loss for words here. The bread and circus is telling you that we need better bread and circus. And in order to do that, we might have to bring bum fights out of retirement. Let's see how much they care about their fellow American. Great stuff, Fox News. Let's do it. Fuck it. Why not? That would be at least interesting. Thank you, Fox News. Let's get here to my Gentiles like me, how we're going insane,
man. The people are retarded.
We're going to start here. This one here is going to be very controversial. I'm going to play it through and we'll see what you guys think of this. All right, this is really something.
You mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And you're a principal. You have LGBT students in your school, and we also know that they're not receiving sex education for queer kids. We know that prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids.
The educational resources that this person here is debating are adult films. I live in Florida. You know what? Let's do it for the show. Let's do it for the show. Let me show you what they did here. I'm going to go on Pornhub.com here so you can see what happened. This is the law that they're trying to pass across the country. So if you go on the Pornhub page in Florida, this is what you get. Dear user, as you know, your elected officials in Florida are requiring us to verify your age before allowing access to our website. And they have this little PSA.
Hi, I'm Sheree DeVille. As you may know, your elected officials have required us to verify your age before granting you access to our website. While safety and compliance are at the forefront of our mission, giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is not the most effective solution for protecting our users, and in fact, will put children and your privacy at risk. In addition, mandating age verification without proper enforcement gives platforms the opportunity to choose whether or not to comply. As we've seen in other states, this just drives traffic to sites with far fewer safety measures in place. Very few sites are able to compare to the robust trust and safety measures we currently have in place.
All right, so you get it. Now, personally, and maybe it's my European sensibility, I have always been in favor of, I know Robert has to be aware because he lives in Nevada. I've always liked the Nevada model. I've always been pro, decriminalizing and even legalizing prostitution. I really don't see the problem with it. Maybe that makes me a bad postmodern Catholic, but St. Thomas Aquinas agreed with me. And I've seen pornography is probably bad. It's not good for you. It's not good for society in a lot of ways, but it makes money. So I guess there's that, right? How you doing, Mr. Elu? So what I'm saying here is that while this may be a debate that is a little bit whatever, I don't think that saying that queer youth need access to adult film websites for sex education is a real winner here. I actually think that it's probably bad to say that. It's probably a bad idea. I don't know where you get the confidence to say that. And this person who's part of the trans community, I don't think that reflects well on your community. If I did that, do you think it would reflect well on the Latino community? All right, let's continue. I want to show you this here because I think we're going to have to start getting the Civil Rights Act amended. Okay? There is a lot of age-based hate in our country. And it started, let's be honest, it started against the boomers. It was a lot of people being mad at the boomers, whether they were justified or unjustified. But we're starting to see ageism, not in reverse, because it's towards anyone, towards young people. And I think that this is a real problem. Let's watch here this young lady explain.
When people are like, who's the worst customer you've ever had?
Do you know the country you live in right now? Yeah. Yeah, the country you live in, the USA? Yeah? Do you know why you live here? John, are you there, John? Yeah. Do you know why you live here? It's because of him? Because he fought for you? Because he fought for you? Because he fought for you? Okay? He's military. He fought for us. He fought for us. You called the police for me? What did I do? And you're calling the... John, get on FaceTime with me right now. What are you going to tell the police? What did I do? You little fucking millennial! FaceTime me right now, John! You little millennial! My fiancé fought all the wars! You bitch! You fucking bitch! Please! FaceTime me right now, John! Everyone in the bar is watching right now! Police are going to be on their way if you don't leave now. Thank you. John, FaceTime me!
Hey, they're on the way, so it's up to you now. You can leave.
You're the bartender? My fucking fiancé fought wars for everyone here! What a whole clubs on me? Who the fuck are you, you little fucking 21-year-old?
We need to amend the Civil Rights Act. We really do. This is unacceptable behavior. First of all, this is a Zoomer. Millennials are now in their 30s and 40s. Okay? The Zoomers are between like very late teens, if any, and like their like later 20s. This, to me, I don't care if she's drunk because the FBI doesn't care either. If you call a black person the N-word and proceed to start trying to fight with them, that is a hate crime. We need to amend this. This is impossible behavior. Our elders are losing their minds. It's not excusable to yell at someone for being a boomer and like accost them or whatever. But I haven't really seen that. I've seen a lot of degradation online and all that, but it's not really a physical or a in-person like attack on the person. When you start using the word millennial as a slur, which is probably because she doesn't know any other word for young people, we need to start doing something. This is a hate crime. Young people are already suffering in this country. We don't have to put up with hate crimes from other people. Okay? I poke fun at the Zoomers. I poke fun at the millennials. I poke fun at the boomers, at the Gen Xers especially. I've never gone up to a Gen Xer and said, you fucking Gen Xer, I hate you. Because that is a hate crime. You are hating someone based on an immutable characteristic. This is a perfect, like educational moment here to show what a lot of people are getting comfortable doing. Age-based attacks are really, really something, man. I fought in all the wars. What does that mean? I'm assuming that means Vietnam, the Gulf War, Iraq 2, Afghanistan, and GWOT. Big ups to you. Other people, there's an economy to run here, all right? I'm not shitting on veterans. That doesn't make you someone who is exempt from hate crimes. And I think it's about time, man, because I've seen other instances of this. This judgment of the youth is really, because it's always existed and it's fine. It's, these kids are out of control. When you're getting drunk at a bar and accosting someone based on their age, you need to be locked up. You need to be locked up. It's not possible. I wanted to show this as well, because this is actually a positive development for the pro-debate side. I'm an honest broker here. I will admit that this gives the protesting and the debate people some points. An AI data center was canceled in New Jersey because of, and I'm not exaggerating, people protesting it. I didn't think protests did anything. Wow, let's watch here how it happened.
They canceled it!
Say what?
They canceled it!
I don't know why this got calqued into the English language. It doesn't make sense. The people united will never be defeated, because in Spanish it rhymes. That's where it comes from. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. I don't know why people insist on translate. It doesn't really make sense. It's like, yes, we can. At least that one kind of translates.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. This is what it looks like when people stand up. We are going to be fighting against data centers everywhere in New Jersey. I will see each and every one of you again. And we say a big fuck you to big tech. We say a big fuck you to private equity. And it's time to build communities, not data centers. We're here.
And they canceled it. They canceled the data center. I'm an honest broker. I didn't think that they could do something like this. Good for you. Good for you. You protested something and you got it. I didn't think that could happen in this day and age. I still think the leaderboard is on me. You know, I'm leading by a lot. A lot. But whatever. We'll give people their due. Good for them. I don't know if I agree with this. Honestly, this is the direction we're going in, dude. We should sell them whole states. We should pay them to make states data centers. Why not? Why not? Give them the country. Why not? But if you're really passionate, I guess you can do change like this. Really something. I was impressed to see it. Let's check in here on Andrew Tate, who's here saying that he missed house arrest, so he put himself under house arrest. Let's watch what he's doing. I've gotten a lot of hate for my anti-Andrew Tate message. But look, I said he should be back in jail. He wants to go back to jail. He literally wrote here, we miss house arrest so bad that we've locked ourselves in the house again for a week. Chef, shisha, gym, chilling with the guys in a compound so secure police can't break in. Best life ever. Then why wouldn't we indulge him as a society? Why wouldn't we? If he wants it so bad, why wouldn't we indulge him? Everyone hating. King Leo, you're asking for someone to be arrested. He's literally saying he wants to be. He's institutionalized. You've seen the Shawshank Redemption. You know what happens when someone's I'm looking out for his well-being as well as ours. Because Andrew Tate behind bars will not be able to poison our minds. But all right, let's continue. We'll save this. We'll save that. We'll save that. We'll save that. And I wanted to show here, it's a shame. It's a shame I Hate Everything isn't here. Let's check in on the greatest mayor to ever do it. Eric Adams, what's he doing over here, man? What is Eric Adams doing?
My Muslim brother and sister, happy Ramadan. Not from Bay Ridge, but from Cairo.
He needs a travel show. He needs a travel show, man. He needs to be the Anthony Bourdain of mayors. What is Eric Adams doing in Cairo? What's he doing out there? Is he finding the ancient Sumerian technology that Candace Owens said? What is he doing out there? Good for him. Good for him. Enjoying retirement. Good for him. I wanted to show you this as well. I wanted to show you this. I think this got to him. To Mr. Kyriakou, who I have attacked on this show in the past. I'm going to play you one of these, a newer one. I told you they were fucking with him with these memes, okay?
Billy Wah, legendary Special Forces guy. 17 Purple Hearts, one short of the national record. Even his license plate, it said 17 hits, and it was a Purple Heart license plate. Very cool. Legendary guy. So I ran into him. We had just done an operation together in the Middle East, and we got back like 2 or 3 days before 9/11. So I ran into him, and I said, Billy, where you been? And he goes,
been in Afghanistan. Like who you have. What are you doing there? He looks at me and goes, I've been killing people. What do you think I've been doing?
I said, that's why they haven't sent me. Because I was always the good cop. And they didn't need translators. They're not interrogating anybody.
They're just blowing their brains out.
So I was like, okay. So I said, I'm going to try one more time. I went back in the deputy director's office and I said, you have to send me to Afghanistan. And if you don't,
I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna go straight to Exxon with my Arabic and make triple what I make here, and I'm not looking back.
He's like, all right, take it easy.
And so I think these memes, which I pointed out, are significant because they have completely deflated the psychological operation of Mr. Kyriakou's. And I think that it's getting to him because let's watch this video he put out today, which really shows you, I think it's getting to him, man. I've never seen him this off kilter, and he's not a tough guy. It doesn't seem like he is, so it's even more funny. Let's see him here.
Hello, I'm John Kyriakou, and I'm here to fuck shit up.
Brother, where is my OG CIA? Where is my 1954 United Fruit Company bankrolled CIA? Where are they? Brother, Bibi Netanyahu, my CIA is doing the Julian Dory podcast, brother. They're yelling that they're here to fuck shit up, sir. Real players move in silence like lasagna. What is going on? What is going on? All right. Let's get to our first story. We have, do we do James Fishback or do we do the tariffs? Do we do James Fishback? I think we do James Fishback just because it's a little shorter, all right? Our Fishback update is here. Mr. Fishback continues to make strides. Let's check his odds real quick on Polymarket. Why don't we do that? Let's see here. Let's check what he's at. He has descended down to 11% from a high of, last we checked, he was in the 20s, 19%. When was this? This was on February 6th. He's back down to 11%. Still good odds. Remember, 11% means 1 in 10, a little bit more than 1 in 10. If there's 10 elections, he wins one of them. All right, and he's getting more coverage. The Spectator today, a prestige magazine, put out this article with his caricature here, and it says, is James Fishback the right's answer to Zoran Mamdani? What? The man, is making waves. He's out. He's even interacting with it. They did me dirty with that graphic. I do think they did my Hispanic brother from another mother a little dirty with the graphic. But it's okay. Any attention is good attention. Mr. Fishback knows this himself. Now, he has further ingratiated himself with the Groyper movement. Okay? This was today. He did a little conference here. Dude, I can't even keep up with where he is in Florida. He's going all over the state. He's all over the state. All right. He did a little conference here, and he addressed a popular meme that I've gotten in my comments and chats in the past, where he talked directly about the USS Liberty, which is not a controversial issue on its face, because the official story of the USS Liberty is that it was a friendly fire accident where Israel during the 1967 war accidentally sunk a surveillance ship that the United States had in the region. However, there are people, including sailors on the boat, that think things were a little different. I'm not an expert. I don't know about this. But this has become a popular meme. It's a meme for people that have derision towards the state of Israel, people that are not happy with America's greatest ally, Israel. And let's see him talk about the USS Liberty. This is an unprecedented move. I haven't seen a politician do this before.
How our curriculum is kind of being compromised by organizations like McGraw-Hill, especially in our high schools. So,
Who ran McGraw-Hill for years?
I believe it was owned by a sister company owned by Ghislaine Maxwell.
Oh! It's like it's almost connected. It's like there's a global conspiracy.
In a state-led curriculum and a state-led education, can we expect to see like some type of education and textbook reform?
Yes. Yes, and here's my ultimate test for any history textbook. I keep it very simple. I believe in litmus tests. I don't believe in, like, you have to have these 50 historical events. This historical event, whether they agree to accurately and contextually cover this historical event, will tell us everything about a textbook publisher. That is the bombing of the USS Liberty. If they are unwilling to write in a history textbook about what Israel did to the USS Liberty, get out of our classrooms. We are not going to allow any school district to buy our textbooks. Yes, 10 minutes. So guess what that means? That's what we call a litmus test. It's not just for that, but whether you agree to disagree.
This, by the way, is a security guy. Let me move my head here. This guy here. I actually saw him when I went to check out that event. Very serious looking dude.
Whether you agree or disagree with including that in the textbook will tell us a lot about what kind of textbook publishing company you are. There's a great company out of New York. It's called Brave Books. They do incredible work. They wrote an incredible U.S. history book. I would want to work with them. I would want nothing more than to kick Ghislaine Maxwell and her entire textbook company out of Florida. The indoctrination isn't just the gender pronouns and all that. The indoctrination is the absolute historical lies we've been told, not just about our country, but about other countries as well.
I think that this is quite confidently we can say, and I'm using the word denotationally, a dog whistle. It is an activation phrase, the USS Liberty, a popular meme. And I mean, personally, I don't think we should have any history textbooks at all. I don't think we should have any textbooks, man. I think if we're going to do school, if we still think school will save us, education will save us, we should probably just buy old stock Soviet Russian mathematics textbooks, which is what they did in Latin America. And that's why we had a lot of good like math guys and science guys. Hey, we invented the birth control pill, the diamond knife, the leprosy vaccine. We got some stuff there. We got some accomplishment. The president of MIT is Venezuelan, all right? And not to take a page out of Kanye West's book here, but we should be teaching these kids engineering. Only engineering. History is bunk. We all know this. History is bunk. But very interesting dog whistle, if we can call it that. Telling the voters, hey, they have to do this. And here he said, we must never forget what happened on the USS Liberty in 1967. I have gotten this exact comment on my YouTube videos. 34 U.S. sailors were killed and 71 wounded. The history must be taught in our schools. Now, okay, I think if we're gonna do history, I've always been more. Maybe it's because I'm a romantic, you know. If we're forced to do the history, we should do like the state history, you know. National history is interesting and all that, but I prefer the state history, you know. Learning about our state, we feel more connected to our state. We'll fight for it. But all right, interesting strategy. Let's continue. he also had this to say, where here he's actually addressing the whole Nick Fuentes thing head on, who has recently endorsed him, as we've seen.
I made a comment of Nick Fuentes, a GIF, on Instagram, and I was contacted by the school. Because of this GIF, and I was told that it was an anti-Semitic quote, and they were threatening me and harassed me for 2.5 weeks.
You didn't delete it, did you?
I deleted it.
Who emailed you?
Title IX from the school.
For publicly agreeing with Nick Fuentes. What happened to our First Amendment rights? Seriously, first time I'm hearing about this.
Yes, and the same thing, I commented on the Sixers page. It was Pride Night. I said, not a fan anymore. And they told me it was a homophobic slur. And that, meanwhile, I went to that game, and they lost by 2. Not a fan anymore. It was a homophobic slur.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
I was investigated for 2 weeks straight, from January 6th to the end of January.
Interesting that it started on January 6th, actually. And this is by FGCU?
By FGCU.
Okay, email me on this. I'm gonna look into this.
I will.
Look, I'm not, by the way, FGCU, as you guys know, is a taxpayer-funded university. This is public, right? So if UM had done this, if a private school had done this, I'd write a letter, but we have direct authority over this. If you're a government tyrant, by the way, I don't care. Why do I keep saying tyrant? What, I can't? Just hold on. A government tyrant. No, because I'm...
He's funny. You got to give him that. Referencing the Candace Owens can't read. This man is running for mayor of Twitter.
Thinking tyranny. Okay, a government tyrant. If you're a government tyrant and you're trying to silence, censor conservatives or progressives, it is wrong. We saw this at UF with the Students for Palestine. They should have been protected. They have a First Amendment right, just as Jewish students do on campus, to protest and to debate, so long as it stays peaceful. I'm going to look into this personally because that is an affront. Guys, it is not a crime to agree publicly with Nicholas J. Fuentes or anyone. It's called the First Amendment of the United States Constitution.
I'll make sure to email you.
Email me. James@fishback2026.com.
I'm definitely here.
James@fishback2026.com. Okay. Email me everything you have. Gotcha. Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
That was not on my bingo card. Guys, I thought this was the free state of Florida.
I thought so too. I thought this was the free state of Florida. I love that people are starting to co-opt what I said first. I thought this was the free state of Florida. Why are there speeding cameras everywhere now? Why are they everywhere? I just paid $100 fine for going fast in the school zone on a weekend at night. I thought this was the free state of Florida. I thought this was America. This is the frustration of every Floridian, except for Mike John, who's a fake Floridian in our chat. This is the frustration. I thought this was look, man. In college, I see I had everything joined. Is that Leo? And no, that's not me, sir. That's someone else. That's a college student. But thank you for the compliment. A good-looking young man. Obviously not gay. You missed Eric Adams in Cairo, my friend. Your mayor is in Cairo. This is really something, man, where a politician, and it goes kind of to what we were looking at before, where the youth is being left behind. I think that's what's powering a lot of these movements like Zoran Mamdani and James Fishback, where whether you agree or disagree with Nick Fuentes, whether you think what he says is good or bad, young people have a right to an opinion. They sound like they have a right to express themselves at universities. This silencing thing is abnormal. You know what I mean? This is a problem where it happened very oddly, where in the woke period, everyone got very sensitive. I'm going to make a video about this in my backyard one of these days, because I really want to. There is something that has happened in this country that has really bothered me. You look back on the 1970s at any debate on TV, but whatever. William F. Buckley or something like this. And they are saying words that are basically illegal now. You can't say the K word. You have to say delete. You can't say the word sewer slide. We were a much more mature country in the 70s than we are now. Even though we have more communication, we are more limited in the words we can use. And this petty tyranny, this safe space culture, for lack of a better word, is really annoying. And especially for young people who have a right to express their opinion, no matter how stupid or smart it is. And for a university, this also shows you how these universities waste time and money to go after a guy for agreeing with Nick Fuentes. I'm sorry, you're a university in Florida. You should be solving climate change, the Florida bug problem, the extinction of mammals in the Everglades, and you're wasting your time doing this. This is something that, whether you agree or disagree with Nick Fuentes, is a popular message. These universities are just wasting everyone's time and money. So I thought it was a very interesting strategy. Now, I wanted to pull some clips here. And everything says that sounds like NY. What do you mean, Cairo? Cairo is a mess of a city, man. I have an open invitation from a buddy to go over there, but I've read it's such a mess. I wanted to show you here because he went on the Fresh and Fit podcast, as we previously teased. I want to show you here. Yes, Ephra says, by the way, Eve says, I'm a fake Floridian. We have a lot of those. But you're one of the good ones, Eve. Don't worry about it. And Eve Ephra says, the one I hate the most is Unalive. Yes, exactly. This like infantilization of the American public is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I'm mad the people are trying to get rid of the word crackhead, and it's always pushed by these transplants. I grew up with everyone saying it, because I had everything. I remember there was a subtle movement to do that, like unhoused, and they make words offensive that don't really make any sense. You know, they don't make any sense. Like why is crackhead offensive? Are you a crackhead, sir? Is that why you're asking? Because the crackheads, they're having a great time. They're out there on crack. They're having a great time. Why are you offended? You know? The speed camera. Dude, I thought this was a free state of Florida and we have speed cameras. We have parking violations. I thought this was the free state. But let's watch him here on Fresh and Fit, which I was skeptical of, but it was an interesting move. Okay. Here he actually attacked the Fresh and Fit ethos on their platform.
There should be a stigma associated with a high body count, but it should not exclusively be applied to women.
Right.
And that's my view.
I applaud you for that, James.
No, but I'm just gonna speak the truth on this. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, if you're a guy and you've slept with 500 girls that makes you a G. It's just not the truth. I think a real guy is someone who finds a girl, puts a ring on it, stays committed, does what's right.
Right.
And
come on, James.
Wait, but James, hold on.
Come on,
James. I mean, whenever people are together, there's a value exchange.
But what do you learn from having sex with a woman before marriage? Like, what do you actually learn about
that
them?
she have good pussy.
But no, but seriously, like, what do you learn about her ability to stay committed, her ability to be a committed woman, to raise your children, to be a partner? What do you learn about that?
Put it this way: take sex off the table. What do you really have with a woman?
You have
a lot.
Commitment, love, support, partnership.
Let's get past that part.
Why?
And let's see who she really is. Because imagine I go to
I say something?
Mercedes, right? And I say, you know what? Give me the first car in the lot. I don't like the car. It drives shitty, high mileage.
But listen, I agree with you. Men should test drive relationships. So that doesn't mean sex.
Well, listen.
It means the ups and downs of a relationship.
I get that point, but let's just, for argument's sake, sex in itself could be considered really bad because you can get pregnant, STDs, 100%. But my point of view is like, if you don't have sex with a girl, right, at some point before marriage, how do you know it's like going to be good?
What's going to be good?
Sex.
Why is that your basis of marriage?
Seriously, I don't know why that's like, well, think about it. If you're married for 40, 50 years, what percentage of the time are you going to be having sex with a woman? Less than 1% of 1% of the time.
Yeah.
So why don't we focus on the other 99.9% of the interactions? Cooking, going out. How do you guys handle stress, consternation, fights, support? Why are we so, as men, and I'm saying this as a guy, why are we so obsessed with literally less than 1% of the time that we're going to spend is having sex with a woman?
But I agree. I'm saying let's get out of the way now.
Why?
Can I say something?
Because, okay.
All right, let me ask this.
Brad and Tom didn't wait for sex.
Who's that?
The guys before me, right? They didn't wait for sex till marriage. Why am I going to wait?
Well, look, okay. If you wanted to find out if a woman was the right woman, or ladies, if you want to find out the guy was right, you have two options. You can have sex with them for 6 months, or you can travel the world with them for 6 months. Which one are you picking?
Travel the world.
Wait,
right?
but who's paying though?
Irrelevant.
The guy's paying, right?
Irrelevant.
So you know
all right, okay, you guys are going to backpack Europe. You're going to sleep in hostels. You're going to have McDonald's. Still travel. Because guess what? The travel plans are going to go wrong. You're going to have fights. She's going to be hungry. You're not going to, all that stuff. That's what I would want to see in a relationship, is not who's better in bed, but who's actually going to handle the stress, the uncertainty, the back and forth 6 months on the road?
Now look, I don't agree with this personally. All right. I know it's sinful or whatever, but as the Baudrillardian, I can't make this sleep now. As a Baudrillardian, I can't. As a Baudrillardian, I proscribe to you to go marry Bonnie Blue. Go marry Bonnie Blue, all right? But I will say, despite, and I see Adrian said, we need to normalize having vices responsibly again. Right-wingers are too purists. I agree, Adrian. But I will say, regardless of how I feel about this, I'm very glad to see that Mr. Fishback went on this platform and differentiated himself from these two ridiculous people who host this stupid show. Okay? This is so annoying. Myron Gaines dressing up as a rabbi and doing a little dance. Or dressing up, you know, he loves to dress up. He loves dressing up. Maybe he has something in common with some of the community he targets. He seems to love dressing up. Maybe he's a costume guy. Maybe he worked undercover when he was a Fed. And this fresh guy, I find them so annoying. And I'm glad that he did not come out here and just go, oh yeah, I'm going to take advantage of their platform, completely agree so they can boost me. Fuck you. This is actually pretty brave of a politician. And it's there's a very low standard for that. Going on a platform and subtly attacking the host, telling them, hey, the whole reason you built this show, which is to tell men to go get their money up so they can have a bunch of sex, is wrong and stupid. I don't know if that's true. I disagree with that personally. I disagree with both of those. All right. More of a hippie over here. We're hippies over here. But this is, I haven't seen a politician show a lack of desperation this much to say, hey man, I'm going to go on your show and everything. I'm not going to co-sign all your bullshit, man. I'm not going to do it. And I really appreciate that. I hate everything that says Saint Fishback. Yeah, we're going for sainthood, mayor of Twitter. And speaking of that, let's have him talk here about his syntax, because he did not back down in person to the OnlyFans models on this show.
If you could make the money doing something else, would you quit?
I want to go to school for real estate and get out of it. Okay. I started as a trauma response to something I went through when I was younger.
I'm sorry about that.
I did see eventually that it was really harmful, and I don't want to be in it, but I have done it. Thank you.
A lot of women go into doing the OnlyFans or the adult content because there's trauma there, there's a financial need. If you're a mom, you have an 8-year-old son, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel like you can't do school and you have to do OnlyFans to pay for it. It's not a war against women, it's a war against a platform that exploits, commodifies, and objectifies women. We gotta get rid of it, right? We're gonna make sure that you have the ability to do that here in Florida. We come back in a year, I hope you'll be off that platform. You'll be selling houses over Dade County, getting people into their dream homes and getting them moved in, okay?
So now we have light Fishback, like light MAGA. The last time we saw him talking about this, it was, these whores need to be taxed. Sophie Rain, I'm going to tax that ass. You know, but now it's, listen, I want you to be fulfilled. I want you to be happy. And I don't think you're fulfilled over here. Maybe a little bit of big government, but it was empathetic. This is probably he probably had some memo, which was like, hey, we need to increase our share of the woman vote. Okay. And to do that, we have to be a little bit more nice. We have to be, and I don't even think this is a stupid idea, man. I think a lot of people, and this goes beyond just OnlyFans, a lot of people are in places where they don't want to be. Do you want to be working that job you have? Do you want to be doing that? Now, I'm not going to come out here and sell you something else. I'm not going to tell you that being a real estate agent is heaven. I'm going to tell you this.
We live in hell. We live in the gutter.
We live in hell. All right, this is hell. All right. Pick your poison. Pick your hell. Try to keep the temperature down. All right? But this is a persuasive message. Say, hey, look. This is Captain Sabo. I can get you out of the bordello, girl. And I'm not exactly sure how female psychology works personally. I really am not an expert on that. We can't ask Tucker Carlson because he's only an expert on gay psychology, but I'm not an expert. I don't know if this will appeal to the OnlyFans models themselves, but I think it could appeal to young women who are not willing to do OnlyFans, which is probably a lot of young women, but can't get ahead. They're like, fuck, man, I went to college and nothing's here for me. I can't be a boss girl. Can't be a boss. So I get it. Let's continue. All right. So I have to show you this. And this is why I'm still winning the debate on protesting and all this stuff. There was an anti-ICE walkout in Palm Beach. Okay? That's fine. I'm not going to argue with it. All right? You can hate ICE, you can love ICE. Walking out of school sounds benign, but I need to show you what happened to this young person. Okay?
A student participating in a walkout at Palm Beach Lakes High School was hit by a car along North Military Trail. That child was rushed to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
And as tensions flared up, separate protest sites across our area, cameras capturing two people here, a man and a woman, appears to be maybe a student, struggling with police as officers tried to control the growing crowds.
A student participating.
Again, on the leaderboard, King Leo's winning. Protesting is bad and it's stupid. And this is tragic. The kid's not dead, it seems, but he was struck by a car. And if you've ever been in a car accident, I was run over when I was a kid with my mother. I'm okay. I was very lucky. But this is a sick thing to happen. These schools should be in trouble for this. How is a parent entrusting their child to you and they get hit by a car? This is the same thing as the Parkland shooting. These schools are irresponsible. All right. And he quote tweeted it and he said, a Florida high school student was just struck by a car after skipping school for an ICE protest. Please pray for her full recovery. For the safety of our kids, it's time to drop the hammer. As governor, if a student habitually skips school, they're getting expelled. Maybe not the solution I would go with, but it's a solution. It's someone addressing these ICE protests from another angle. They are dangerous to our kids. They're not good for the kids. And this leads us, over here. He did an interview in Naples with Amy Dangerfield. You might know this Australian lady from Valuetainment. She was a host over there. He addressed this as well over here.
The safety of our children. Drop the iron hammer on the ICE protests in our public schools. The First Amendment does not give a 16-year-old the right to be a delinquent, incorrigible student. Get the hell back to class or you're getting expelled. The safety.
Very diverse crowd there, huh? We have black, white, Hispanic. We have everything. Women, men. Very interesting. But yes, we see him double down. And I think, dude, there was a walkout when I was in college. I forget about what. Maybe the Muslim ban or something. And I was looking at these people walking out. I was like, I pay money to be here. Sure, I was on scholarship, but I was like, this costs people money. And you're going to walk out? This is, some of you, I assume, pay for school. You're going to walk out for what? You're not going to do anything. This infantilized protest culture is really something, man. You're going to walk out. You're going to waste taxpayer money. You're going to waste my money. Ah, man. You're going to waste the Florida lottery players' money. That's how we fund our schools, supposedly. By walking out during school. Ridiculous. If you're going to be in school, which is a prison for children, to quote Michael Malice. You're going to be in the prison, dude. I'm putting you in the prison. If not, do FLVS, online school. That's what I would do with my kids. I wouldn't even homeschool them, dude. I would just do FLVS. It's a great program. Have them do that bullshit. And then you teach them whatever you want to teach them, How you doing, Iron Hammer Forge? And let's continue here. So here's Amy Dangerfield. And Mr. Fishback, this is getting real meme energy here, man. He might jump the shark one of these days. We all know Byron Donalds is now Byron Donalds, according to Mr. Fishback. And you have to see here what he's parlaying this into now. All right.
Go ahead, please.
So the first one was H1 Byron because he supports the H1B scam. The second one is APAC Shakur. And then, Tucker asked me in our interview, he said, do you call him that because he took money from APAC? And I said, yeah, that and other reasons. And the last one, it's become a favorite.
Byron!
Ladies and gentlemen.
People are screaming out Byron now. He is from the ghetto, and I will bring him back to the ghetto.
Help us defeat Byron Donalds. And Amy, look, I heard a rumor that is actually the name he was born with. And he changed it.
What?
He changed it, like J.D. Vance, to get into politics.
Attacking J.D.
So, listen, Byron, let's clear this up. Release your birth certificate.
Oh!
We're going with birtherism now. We're going with birtherism. This man, he's too powerful. He's a wizard. He's too powerful. He's tapping into that 2012 Trump birtherism with Mr. Byron. I think his name is probably Byron. I don't think it's Byron. Very funny. I know some people will be like, oh, it's racist, But is that really a concern anymore? Byron is a terrible candidate, okay? This is a very, very funny move. I have to say, it's very funny. It's very funny. Byron released the birth certificate. My God. And here I wanted to show you here. Here he even addressed chemtrails because we're going a little Tucker here.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, this is not going to be easy. But look at the sky. What was that final most essential command in George Orwell's 1984? The final most essential command was to deny the evidence of your eyes and ears. The gaslighting is over. I'm not here to propose laws that go unenforced. In fact, I'm willing to just simply rely on the Constitution as the law of the land. If we have to arrest people, I don't care who they work for, you are not going to poison our skies if I am the governor.
We're going to go after chemtrails. Okay. And finally, we have to look at here his stance on abortion, which he expressed here on the Fresh and Fit podcast.
James, for you, I'm assuming you're coming more from a religious perspective with the
I think my Christian faith would tell me, obviously, this is the wrong thing.
Fair.
But also, I think those arguments stand independent of the religion itself.
Fair.
Right? Like, look, abortion is wrong for religious reasons, but it's also wrong just independent of that.
Okay. So, and I see you're coming more from a religious and, moral perspective, but I'm going to speak more from like a biological perspective. So cool. Because this whole started with men, having multiple women, polygamy, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
It's natural for men to want multiple women, right? And it's natural for women to typically want to consolidate on one guy that meets all their metrics. The problem with women, though, the problem for women is that it's very rare to find a guy that meets all the criteria in one dude, right? Since women have typically higher standards, it's harder to find a guy that is tall, charming, good looking, makes enough money, checks all the boxes. So what ends up happening is like girls have to date around. One guy has 2 out of the 3, another guy has 1 out of the 3, another guy has all of them, but he's not available. So for women, it's really hard. So I'll be sensitive to the fact that
Okay. We have his position on abortion. It's wrong. Let's listen to Byron's over here. Okay. He quote tweeted this.
Will you commit to a full abortion ban as governor?
Right now, we're going to keep the law as it is.
Now, I understand that to the extreme anti-abortion people, which is fine. Abortion is a complicated issue. They may want a full abortion ban, but I actually have to say, I think that a lot of Floridians are satisfied with the heartbeat bill, including young women. I've spoken to a lot of young women about it, and they're like, it kind of makes sense. It's the same standards they have in most of Europe, Cuba. Like, the heartbeat bill is, if the kid has a heartbeat, you can't abort it. So, it's money on the table, absolutely, to go after this if it really does bring voters out. But I'm not sure if that's something that's really going to activate voters, the abortion question at this point. And finally, we have to show you here today. We're going to cut it off a little early because he went to confront Byron at a hotel here. And you just have to watch this. This is the funniest thing I've seen him do.
Of course. He said, I'm Kamala Harris. That's interesting. Sorry.
Wait, I think that cop is still there.
No, stop right there.
Sorry.
Stop right there.
You're not welcome
Stop
here.
right there. Stop right there.
He called me Kamala Harris. Why doesn't he call it to my face? This is public property. He called me Kamala Harris. He called me Kamala. Come out here. I know you work for Byron. Come here. He called me Kamala Harris. He's the one who sided with Kamala Harris against Governor DeSantis to push woke curriculum in our schools. Why doesn't he call me Kamala Harris to my face? He said that my plan to divest from Israel is a plan from Kamala Harris. It is a plan for American citizens. If I walk in that building, will I be arrested? Yes or no? Yes or no? Will I be arrested if I walk into that building and ask Congressman Donalds why he would slander me and my family that way?
You cannot go into.
Will I be arrested? Yes or no? This is public property. This is a public building.
He's got to come out here for an event, sir.
The entire building is? Okay. I can stand right here, right?
No, you're blocking egress to the house.
Can I go in the hood of his car and ask him why he called me Kamala Harris? That is disrespectful.
And if you damage his car, you'd probably be arrested
He didn't.
for vandalism.
Oh, well, he should be arrested like he was in 1997 for pushing drugs on young people in Tallahassee. In 2000, like he was for felony theft. He cheated on his wife. He cheated on his own wife. What kind of man does that? What kind of man does that? We need our men to take responsibility and to protect our women. And look, you men are good guys. You're just doing your job. But why?
I love this. I really do. I want to see more of this because the Democrats tried to do it with Trump and it didn't work because he's a Teflon Don. Bringing up old court cases. He's a drug-pushing thief and he cheats on his wife. I'm of the Piers Morgan school of thought here, which is that if you're in public life, especially if you're a hypocrite, you should be attacked on the basis of all that. And I've been saying this from the start. I've been saying that Byron Donalds is a criminal, that he is a pardoned drug trafficker who should not be the governor of this state. Based on that, you sold drugs, man. You sold drugs. I'm not saying that it's a death sentence, but governor, you were a drug dealer. You know what we do with drug dealers in government in this country? We kidnap them in the middle of the night and lock them up in New York City. That's what we do. We go over, start a little war, kidnap them, and bring them to prison in Florida, like we did to Noriega. All right, we don't do this electing them into office thing, okay? Except for like Bill Clinton, maybe. You are not Bill Clinton, little bro. You are Byron Donalds. Okay, so I love to see it. I think it's very, very funny. And everybody says, do you think the cops like Fishback? That's a good question, my friend. I mean, he backs the blue and everything, but the cops, even if they liked him, they know they have the guarantee with Ron and Donald Trump, who has provided a lot of money to the Palm Beach Department. So I think they would search for continuity, even if they like Mr. Fishback and his policies. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be their self-interest, right? The cops are handsomely paid in Florida since Ron DeSantis came here. So I don't see why they would really switch it up. All right, let's get to our final story. We got to talk about these tariffs. Tariffs. So for some context setting, Donald Trump put out these tariffs on Liberation Day, all right? These tariffs were filed under the IEEPA. I forget the actual acronym for it. But essentially, this is a statute that is used in order to regulate trade. And regulate trade, in Donald Trump's interpretation, includes tariffs, which, for people that don't understand, tariffs are a tax, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. Even if I like some tariffs. I think tariffs are useful somehow. But tariff is a tax. It's a tax. It's a duty. It's something you pay to import a product. That's what it is. However, Donald Trump, who, as we saw today, our black person of the day is Barack Obama. Because Barack Obama said it's not illegal to charge you a tax for not having health insurance because it's not really a tax. We are now in full Baudrillardian wizardry here, all right? And today the courts decided 6-3 that these tariffs are unconstitutional. Let's watch here CNN update us on this, all right?
About this. Yeah, Pamela, we still have no official reaction from the White House or President Trump. We are waiting. I am told that they are meeting, discussing how they are going to respond. But we have learned more about what happened in the room when President Trump was with those governors and he learned of the Supreme Court decision. Apparently, the breakfast had been going well. They were working together. And then President Trump became enraged. He started ranting about the decision, not only calling it a disgrace, but started attacking the courts, at one point saying, "These effing courts," but using the actual language there. We know that President Trump does use expletives on quite often when he is enraged in particular. Now, this, of course, comes as this tariff policy, this could not be a bigger decision for President Trump. This could not be a bigger loss for President Trump. Not only is so much of his economic agenda based on these tariffs, so much of his foreign policy is based on these tariffs. He has used these tariffs as leverage in almost every meeting that he has had around the world. He has touted them as the most important part of the economic agenda. So clearly a huge loss, and he recognizes that today.
So Trump is clearly angry at these tariffs, and we're going to get into his reaction next, okay? And we're going to look at some funny stuff he said here too. Now, Donald Trump, I'm going to look this up live, dude. The most striking thing to me is that he said that the Supreme Court is being influenced by foreign governments. And that's why they decided the way they did. Has any president ever accused SCOTUS of being on the take of foreign governments? Let's watch live. The first U.S. president to explicitly and publicly accuse members of the Supreme Court of being influenced by foreign interests. I have never seen that before. I've never seen that before. That is some next level wizardry. The courts now disagree with President Trump because they are being influenced by foreign governments. Wow. Wow. Okay. Who's paying? This is becoming a trope now. A canard. You know, Tucker Carlson. What is it now? Carlson, Qatarans Thomas, Amy Comey Qatar. I can't do it live. I can't do it live. This is really something. Okay? I've never seen a president do this. I think it's very, very significant. A lot of people are not talking about it. The president accused the courts of being on the take by a foreign government. All right. Let's look at his reaction here because he was angry and he expressed this anger. And by the way, this does not apply to all tariffs. These are only the ones that were passed under the IEEPA, whatever it's called. The steel and aluminum tariffs are under national security, so those are still in place. All right. How you doing, Mike John? My fake Floridian friend. Let's watch him here talk about Hakeem Jeffries. And here's Howard Lutnick, by the way, which I have to inform you of this. Howard Lutnick is he's a rat. Like he's a rat. Hang on, we have a clip here.
Good morning, rat.
He is a rat. Okay. Howard Lutnick is the final boss. He's a genius grifter, like the best in the world, better than Patrick Bet-David. Okay. And Howard Lutnick did something which I don't know how this is legal, where when the tariffs were announced, he offered the small businesses being affected to buy them off, to pay them money in order to secure their tariff dues, okay? At 20 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar. Why would a small business take this? Well, for some capital relief. They need some money to keep their business going with these tariffs and the uncertainty, right? They don't know if the tariffs are going to be repealed or not. Money now is better than money in the future. I didn't know he did this. And today he gets to sell them because he's probably going to sue the Treasury for the money of these tariffs at 100%, making 70 cents on the dollar, millions and millions of dollars. All right. So this rat over here who is in the government is really, really, really something. But let's see President Trump talk about Hakeem Jeffries.
Several of Republicans in Congress have supported this decision by the Supreme Court. And Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader, has called you a wannabe king.
Why wouldn't him a low IQ?
But why wouldn't
he doesn't even know? And I watched him the other day interview. The guy doesn't even know what a tariff is.
But there's been bipartisan criticism
No, not bipartisan.
of the tariffs.
Excuse me.
There's several
A few
Republicans
people.
have said that.
Yeah,
But
a
why
few people.
wouldn't you just work with Congress to come up with a plan?
I don't have to.
push tariffs.
I have
through?
the right to do tariffs, and I've always had the right to do tariffs, and it's all been approved by Congress. So there's no reason to do it. All we're doing.
All right. All right. I call Hakeem Jeffries low IQ. Okay. Okay. All right. We're going to talk here about the farmers. The farmers, by the way, are doing very poorly because of increased imports from Argentina mostly, as well as the tariffs. They have made farming incredibly difficult. For people that don't understand how farming works, and I'm speaking from a limited financial perspective, farming is probably one of the most challenging things you can engage in, agriculture. The reason the Chicago futures market exists is partially because of World War II, but secondly because the farmers need futures contracts. Futures contracts are purchased in case the price of grain goes down, because farming is something where, I remember this used to happen a lot as a kid. You've probably seen images of farmers burning crops that are no longer sellable. The reason for that is because farmers buy futures contracts on their crops. They go, okay, if the crops don't sell at this price, I have an insurance policy in the form of a futures contract. Okay? And when you add tariffs into the mix that make things incredibly difficult, as well as the increased enforcement on illegal immigration, love it or hate it, guys, that was a big backbone of the farming community in the United States. They have been hurt a lot. And President Trump is claiming a victory here that he has helped the farmers out with tariffs. But if you speak to farmers, which I have limited knowledge, but I have a Immokalee 2 hours away, dude. So I speak to farmers every once in a while. Whenever I'm driving up north, I stop by, I talk to the Mexicans, I talk to the farmers, my Mexican brothers, my Hispanic brothers. And it's getting very difficult. The margins are very thin, and especially with the what would you call this? Like the injection of Argentinian cattle and Argentinian soybeans, it has made farming incredibly difficult in the U.S. And everything says, in other words, retards. Absolutely, that's what he's calling them. So here he's addressing the farmers.
You've used the tariff revenue to pay for a host of federal policies. You've claimed that they will pay for them. What happens
Well,
to
like
those
the
things?
farmers, we took care of farmers. You know, the farmers were mistreated by foreign countries very badly, very, very badly. And last week I gave them $12 billion out of tariff money. We intend to, out of tariff money, because just so you understand, we have tariffs. We just have them in a different way. And now they've been confirmed by the Supreme Court of the United States. So there's no longer that question out there about tariffs. And we'll be taking in hundreds of billions of dollars. And countries that have treated us badly will have to pay a price for treating us badly. And countries that have been good to us will be treated very well.
You will not escape the tariff cost come March, guys. Buy your electronics now. I'm telling you this because I know about it, okay? Buy your laptop, the camera you want now, okay? Don't go into debt for it, but you need to buy it now. Prices are about to shoot up. It's not just AI, it's the tariffs, okay? The farmers are not doing well, and he says he's going to give them tariff money. I really doubt that. The tariff money has already been spent. All right, this is something that's important to note. It's already been spent. The tariff money has been spent. They said this today because they're discussing possible refunds. It does not exist anymore. They are not going to give this to the farmers. So that is just obfuscation in my view. They're not going to do that. I see Mike John said, tell the farmers to stop spraying chemicals on our food. Well, President Trump said that glyphosate is like permanently going to be in the U.S., so that's not going to happen. All right, let's continue here. This is where he discusses the actual court proceeding, all right?
Thank you, President Trump. So, since Liberation Day, there's about $175 billion in tariff revenue that is now in limbo. Do you have to refund $175 billion?
Think of it, Peter. Very fair question. They take months and months to write an opinion, and they don't even discuss that point. We've taken in hundreds of billions of dollars, not millions, hundreds of billions of dollars. And so I said, well, what happens to all the money that we took in? It wasn't discussed. Wouldn't you think they would have put one sentence in there saying that keep the money or don't keep the money, right? I guess it has to get litigated for the next 2 years. So they write this terrible, defective decision, totally defective. It's almost like not written by smart people. And what they do, they don't even talk about that. Your question is very basic. That was the first question I asked also to make you feel good. I said, what about all the money that we've taken in? Sir, they don't discuss that. How crazy is that?
Now, this is really, really silly in my view. Because we're piercing the veil, we're cutting to the reality. The money's not there. The reason the court did not say they had to refund it is because the company that sued and won is called Something Learning. It's an education company out of Illinois that makes learning products. It's kind of like Lego. And they import a lot from China. And the Supreme Court said that they sued in the wrong place. They needed to sue at the trade court in order to determine if the money goes back. It was a narrow ruling and they kind of vacated their case, but they said that the tariff collecting was illegal. So when President Trump says that, they didn't tell us if we had to pay it back, it's not really about paying it back or any of this. It's because they don't have the money. And it's $155 billion. They're not going to pay that back. And I would even add further, I'm not a bootlicker here. I'm not saying these businesses deserve the money back on their own. You will not get the money back. You as a consumer will not get the money back. That is the most offensive thing. I think I saw Tim Walz today in a moment of lucidity demanded that President Trump send everyone a tariff refund check of $1,700. It's actually smart because that's what President Trump has been saying for a while he's going to do. And he hasn't done it. So pretend harder than they do. That is a strategy that a Badralardian would employ to get results. However, it's Tim Walz, Tim on Tim. He's not going to do it well. But that is the context that matters here. So we're not getting our money back. You got screwed on RAM. I got screwed on RAM. I got screwed on this computer. Not that bad because I waited for a sale. The computer I'm transmitting from now cost me like $1,300. Okay? And I know that's not super expensive because it's a laptop. I don't really use desktops. It's a workstation. Okay? I am not going to get the money back. This computer should have been sold to me for $900, but it can't. It can't be given back because the company's not going to give it back to me. So the government's the only one who could, but the money's not there for the companies or me or you. Everything says, how do you think Trump should have done the tariffs? If you're going to do tariffs, it's an interesting question. Everything. And I've thought about it more, and increasingly I've become anti-tariff for the United States because I've realized the United States is not really, despite people that believe so, a manufacturing country anymore. And that doesn't mean that that's a good thing or a bad thing. This is a management country. This is a country that manages the world. It's an empire. And so if you were going to do tariffs for national security, I understand the steel and aluminum tariffs. I do get it. You need to tariff things. If China, which is accused of sending a subpar steel, I don't know if that's true or not. I highly doubt it. But let's say that is the case. You can tariff steel, have a domestic manufacturing side, right? We've traditionally had tariffs on cars so that our car industry can stay competitive. However, our car industry sucks. So who gives a shit? Tariffs are to be applied on specific products, probably for national security reasons. But for example, are we really going to make chips here? Are we really going to do this or that? That is low tier work that doesn't really make a lot of sense. We're not going to bring back the 1950s. It's not going to happen. This country has surpassed that period in time. This is a country that now demands that people become engineers. They become doctors and lawyers. And it should probably start exporting people abroad to alleviate the financial pains here, just like the British Empire used to do. That's where we're at. So I don't think that the way that this was done, a blanket 10% tariff across the board, was very smart. All right, let's continue here. Here he is again promising results what we're going to see a year from now.
And we're going to keep it going the same way. And you're going to start to see the results in a year from now when all those factories start that are under construction right now. You see all the construction numbers are so good. Those construction workers are building factories that are going to be open, including not only AI, which is big, but car plants coming in from Canada, who ripped us off for 30% of our market. Mexico ripped.
I don't know if that's true. I really doubt it. I really doubt the manufacturing is coming back. I know there are opportunities, by the way. For any of you guys out there with mid-5 figures on hand, if you buy a CNC mill, ask Gemini, don't ask me, this is not financial advice, and start producing specific parts for aerospace and drone technology, you can sell it to the government and make some money. Requires a little bit of work, but you can do that. However, I really doubt this, man. I really doubt this is going to happen. I really doubt that we're going to have a resurgence of car manufacturing in this country. The cars made in this country are so shit, man. Like, they're just the worst cars in the world. I really, every time you travel abroad to Europe, Latin America, Asia, Africa even, you're like, damn, these cars are so much better than our cars. So I really don't see this. I really don't see this. But all right, we have more promises. And here again, because this is what he mentioned, and this is what's important to clear up. As I mentioned, these tariffs were passed under the Regulation Act, IEEPA, whatever it's called. What he's doing now is he's just transitioning all of them over to Section 122, which I'm not sure what it's about, but it's probably some other category. So the tariffs, for lack of a better word, did they ever exist? Are they here? Will they always be here? The tariffs don't exist. The tariffs are whatever they say they are. That's what the tariffs is. The tariffs are whatever you want. Okay? That's what the tariffs are. The tariffs are just like, they're just there. That is how tariffs work. It's like the Gulf War and Baudrillard. The tariffs never happened. The tariffs are still happening, and the tariffs will always happen. Democrats are for these tariffs, including President Biden, who kept the tariffs. We are just going to get increasingly screwed with these tariffs. Okay, it's just true. I see everything. Shouldn't he have built the factories? That's what I would do if I were going to tariff people, but whatever, you know.
Which have also been confirmed and are fully allowed. Therefore, effective immediately, all national security tariffs under Section 232 and existing Section 301 tariffs, they're existing, they're there, remain in place, fully in place, and in full force and effect. Today, I will sign an order to impose a 10% global tariff under Section 122 over and above our normal tariffs already being charged. And we're also initiating several Section 301 and other investigations to protect our country from unfair trading practices of other countries and companies.
So this is still unconfirmed, from my understanding, but the tariffs are going up. It's not 10% anymore. It's 15%. So things are about to get a whole lot more expensive. And I see Adrian asked, Latin America has good cars where? Dude, everywhere. Because, listen, people don't understand. The only people who are screwed with bad cars are Americans. Because in Latin America, we don't produce cars in Latin America. But you import Hiluxes. You import the best of the best Japanese cars. In Venezuela, a few years ago, they started to import Chinese diesel trucks that cost like $10,000 in American money. And they have no technology in them. It's like a car from the 50s. They have, of course, power steering and all that, but they don't have screens. They don't have added costs. None of that. So that's why every other country, you go to any other country, you're like, God damn, dude, they have the Hilux over here. That's fucking crazy. They still have V6 engines, V8 engines. Why don't we have that? And you're like, well, because of the tariffs, because of the chicken tax, if you really want to get into it. All right? And here we have him appealing to, and this is why Democrats are retarded. And if you're still a Democrat, you're retarded. Remember the Democrats? We should pack the court. Let's pack the court. Don't open Pandora's boxes you don't understand. Don't open them. Here he is talking about him potentially packing the court now.
That the Democrats who oppose this only because they want to go the opposite way. They'd like to pack the court. They want to put on 21 people. They want to pack the court, pack the Supreme Court. Maybe they should do it. Maybe they would be better off if they did it. They want to pack the court. They want to do anything to hurt our country.
Okay, we are getting to Banana Republic stuff, man. This is really something, dude. This is really something. We're getting to Banana Republic levels where the courts are now going to be packed. Thank the Democrats for that, by the way. Thank the Democrats. That wasn't Trump that had the idea. Here he is again, explaining why the tariffs are good. And a big marker is that they're used for ending wars, which I guess is fine, but the American consumer, man, do we care really about this? And I'm asking you this not really in a political sense. I'm asking you, do you benefit from ending wars if it means that prices are getting more expensive for your quotidian life here in the United States? I think the answer, if we're self-interested and smart, is no. No, I don't want to pay $1,300 for a laptop. That should be $900 so that we could end the war in South Sudan. I'm sure it's a tragic war. I'm sure the RSF has committed a multitude of abuses with UAE backing. I want my cheap laptop. That's what I want. All right, so let's see here. Praising tariff policy.
Tariffs have likewise been used to end 5 of the 8 wars that I settled. I settled 8 wars, whether you like it or not, including India, Pakistan, big ones, nuclear, could have been nuclear. Prime Minister of Pakistan said yesterday at the great meeting that we had, the Peace Board, he said yesterday that President Trump could have saved 35 million lives by getting us to stop fighting. They were getting ready to do some bad things. But the tariffs have
All right, so tariffs ended the war between India and Pakistan. My understanding is that war actually ended because of superior Chinese technology on the Pakistani side. But all right, it was that. And again, this is him saying the alternatives. And here he is directly attacking the Democrats on the court. The court is not supposed to be Democrat or Republican. It's supposed to be originalist or activist, okay? For anyone that skipped high school civics, it means people that try to be true to the word of the Constitution or who are not true to the word of the Constitution, okay? But here he is talking about the Democrats on the court. My brother Donald Trump, you picked the people on the court that voted against you. You picked them, so I don't understand the grievance.
The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no matter how good a case you have. It's a no. But you can't knock their loyalty. It's one thing you can do with some of our people.
This is really something, man. I haven't seen an attack on the court like this since Biden, to be fair. But really since FDR, and FDR was attacking the court so that he could do the New Deal, right? So he could do the NRA, National Recovery Act, that was later ruled unconstitutional, the CCC, all of the good stuff that came out of the New Deal. You had to put pressure on the court. And that was a very wise man who was passing very wise policies. But now we're arguing over tariffs. It's a return of the 30s, dude. Smoot-Hawley tariffs. How you doing, Spring? How you doing, sir? Glad to see you here. We're going a little over time. We'll go over time tonight, dude. I don't mind it. Let's do that. Continue. It's Friday. I'm sure you guys will be up. Let's skip this one, man. This is Donald Trump talking about how he understood the decision very well.
President Trump, you said that you were disappointed with that, but were you surprised with this decision? What you felt when you?
I was surprised because I thought that what we did was, number one, according to, I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case. But we can when judges are political, when they want to be politically correct, when they're catering to a group of people in D.C. Maybe I don't know what it is, because when you read it, there's no other interpretation. There is no other interpretation.
I guess there was. President Trump, the great wizard at work. I knew what the right decision was. He should really appoint himself to the court. That would be like the ultimate funniness, because I had everything that says, I'm going to be honest, and maybe because I become more of a nihilist as I've gotten older, but having a Supreme Court feels so useless. The thing is that's not, listen, I've been getting into Spengler lately, man. Not through actually reading, because who does that, but through Gemini. And Spengler said we would have a rise in Caesarism as the West declined. And your attitude there, sir, is not out of character with that. And I think that's where most Americans are. It's a country in decline. It's a civilization in decline. And we are going to pine for Caesarism. And that doesn't mean it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not judging it. But we are starting to see people really see the contradiction and be like, why do we have this institution? This institution just makes us incoherent and ridiculous. Think about this. Even if you're for this Supreme Court decision, they have just embarrassed the United States in front of the whole world. They have told us that what our president has done over the past year and a half, which I'm not a huge fan of personally, is wrong. It's not allowed. They're watching and laughing, going, God damn, this guy's an idiot. And so that's going to happen. People are going to go, man, we need Caesars. We need people who are in charge, because this is getting ridiculous. And everything says, like, imagine being the leader of the free world just to be cucked by some. Exactly. That's what I mean. We're going to have more people. And it's a sign of any declining society. People going, hey, we need a Caesar. We need a Caesar. And that is not a judgment on you and everything, because I'm kind of in that camp too. I'm like, dude, can we have a guy that just makes things work? That makes things work properly? Can someone stop trying to fix it and just make it work? So it's totally natural for that to happen in a declining. It's not even nihilism, sir. It's just the society declining. It's just the way it works. And here he is talking about how we have to. I think the Dems have the midterms in the bag, dude.
Great unity. There's great unity in the Republican Party, and I hope everyone's going to vote Republican, because otherwise you won't have a country left, because these people have been destroying. They are destroying our country. Please.
I think the Democrats are going to win the midterms. Despite what Trump says, I think they're going to win the midterms. And I don't think they're going to fix things. I think they're going to make them worse. But at this point, what do you expect? You think things are going to get better? Listen, you're a sophisticated guy. There's a lot of anger in the world, right? So, let's, was this all part of your plan, President Trump? Joker makeup on Ketanji Brown Jackson. Ketanji Brown Jackson sitting down in her robes. President Trump, was this all part of your plan? You see, the liars and the schemers, they love their plans. They love their plans. My God, dude, throwing a wrench into it. Just hilarious. And here we have President Trump expressing that he wants to be a good boy. Okay.
I was very modest in my ask of other countries and businesses, because I wanted to do, and it's very important, I wanted to be very well behaved, because I wanted to do anything, I didn't want to do anything that would affect the decision of the court, because I understand the court. I understand how they are very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy.
Want to be a good boy? I want to be a good boy. Let's hear that one more time.
I want to be a good boy.
We're getting some BDSM up here. I want to be a good boy. Please, what do they say in the BDSM thing? Mistress, goddess, I want to be a good boy. I want to be a good boy. I want to be a good boy. This one here is crazy, dude.
And Barrett, are you surprised in particular by their decision today? And do you regret nominating them?
I don't want to say whether or not I regret. I think their decision was terrible. Yeah.
Mr. President.
I think it's an embarrassment to their families. You want to know the truth? The two of them. Yeah.
An embarrassment to their families. God damn. All right. Wow. An embarrassment. This is Hugo Chavez stuff, dude. This is how Hugo Chavez would talk about his political opponents. We might as well come up with a term. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump comes out with a term like gusano or cuadrilo to like start attacking his political enemies. If we're going there, we might as well go there, right? I call them worms. I call them worms. And here he is expressing that he is the decider, that he's allowed to destroy countries.
Can't charge $1. I would have used 1 penny, but we don't make the pennies anymore. We save money. Can't charge $1 to any country under IEEPA. Not $1. I assume to protect other countries. This must have been done to protect those other countries, certainly not the United States of America, which they should be interested in protecting. That's what they're supposed to be protecting. But I am allowed to cut off any and all trade or business with that same country. In other words, I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even reads. I can do anything I want to do to them, but I can't charge any money. So I'm allowed to destroy the country, but I can't charge them a little fee. I could give them a little 2-cent fee, but I cannot charge under any circumstances. I cannot charge them any.
President Trump is now Thanos. He has collected all the Infinity Stones. I can destroy a country now. I can destroy them. What? Even George Bush didn't sound like this, my man. Wow. Okay. We end this. Now I wanted to show you here. I had everything says, bro is the destroyer of worlds. He should have said it. He should have said the quote, I am become Thanos, destroyer of worlds. Just immediate. That would have been so funny. This is the actual company that sued President Trump. And as we can see, Johnny MAGA, who is a MAGA supporter, I assume here. Johnny MAGA. Let's read his caption to see this. These are the scumbags responsible for bringing the case against Trump's tariffs. The Waldenberg family owns Illinois-based learning resources and imports Chinese toys to sell for steep profits. We'd like our money back. Everyone should boycott this business. Dude, they became Rosa Parks too. We're gonna start boycotting. It's a company that makes toys for education. Let's look them up. Learning resources. Like what are their products, man? Let's see what we have to boycott. Let's buy the American-made version. Go buy your kid a Lego set. Go buy a kid a Lego set. They're only $100. This is what they make. They make like plastic stuff for kids. I mean, we probably should boycott this, mostly because the kids aren't learning anything with this. The kids would learn more gooning, jelking, edging, mewing. I mean, they're kind of okay. I mean, they're all right, right? These are like toys, right? I guess they're fine. I don't know. I don't know about kids' toys. I thought kids were all on iPads now. So let's watch them express their contentment at the case.
The company was threatened. Our 500 employees were threatened by this. And we're not a company to stand by idly, so we wanted to take action.
The company took action by filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration. While many tariff cases were filed, Learning Resources became the plaintiff in the case heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. Because the Constitution gives Congress the right to impose tariffs, not the president, the Waldenberg family, who owns the company, knew the law was on their side and the high court would rule in their favor.
We'd like our money back. They didn't have any issue taking it. They shouldn't have any issue giving it back. We know they didn't comment on it today, but we trust the process will play out.
The SCOTUS ruling did not lay out plans for refunds. Constitutional law experts say the issue will likely be settled in lower courts, and it may take a long time.
There have been plenty of cases in the past where the court has said that some action was unlawful or even unconstitutional, but for various reasons, for reasons of reliance or settlement, people just don't get back the money that they've paid in those cases.
Meantime, President Trump is looking at Plan B. Using a different statute, he says he will impose a flat 10% levy on all foreign goods. In an angry press conference following the SCOTUS decision, he also took aim at learning resources.
I know the people that brought the lawsuit, and they're sleazebags, major sleazebags.
Stephen Woldenberg says his family does not know President Trump.
We're really just focused on how we can move forward here after the ruling.
Besides being called sleazebags by the president, I asked Stephen Woldenberg if he was concerned about any retaliation from Trump. Woldenberg said the cost of tariffs is much higher than any cost associated with the legal case.
Now again, I'm not saying that they deserve this refund, unless I really hope, but it's not going to happen, for some court to say you can get the tariff money back if you reimburse your consumers. Because that just means that we got graped here at the lower level and the corporations get their money back. So how is that fair? We paid for it. Okay, maybe you can take out the money that you use for the lawsuit, but you have to reimburse people. You have to reimburse them. Here we have, again, someone made an edit here. Here's the tweet. Trump on foreign influence to Supreme Court. You're going to find out investigations are to be initiated. And here's the tweet.
He actually called me Your Excellency. He goes, but why Your Excellency, Mr. President?
They say he is the fascist. He is the fascist.
So we have Mussolini Trump now. I'm going to investigate the courts. I'm going to investigate the court. What the fuck are we doing? Dude, this is like El Salvador summit. I'm going to. What are we doing here? This country is falling apart. It's falling. Let's play this one more time, dude, because this is a Mussolini moment, man. It really is.
He actually called me Your Excellency. He goes, but why Your Excellency, Mr. President?
They say he is the fascist. He is the fascist.
They say he is a fascist. I think investigating the courts, that's some crazy shit. Here's Scott Bessent, our wonderful Treasury Secretary, explaining how we won't get our money back. You won't get your money back.
Well, it's going to be a food fight going after $175 billion, isn't it? So
I got a feeling the American people won't see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I have a feeling they won't see it. Let me ask you really quick, because we're really bad with numbers as human beings, right? I want to ask here, let me ask Gemini. How many shipping containers would $175 billion fill in $100 bills? Just the number. Let's see how many containers. It's thinking. It's thinking. It's thinking. This is a tough question for the AI. My God, how many shipping containers? How many? This isn't dead air. Look at this. Look at how much money they collected. The volume of the money. Shipping containers, 20-foot containers. 60 standard 20-foot shipping containers. You know when you're driving along the coast and you see a shipping container on a ship? 60 of those in $100 bills is the money. 60 of them. Yeah, this was a great one I saw here, because this is when it was announced. Breaking, the U.S. government may owe U.S. companies $175 billion in refunds. And this tweet here says, realizing American citizens paid $175 175 billion in illegal tariffs, and it's being refunded to companies instead of back to us. And we have here Leonardo DiCaprio waking up on the plane in Inception. There's 350 million people in this country, right? 175, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, divided by 350, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. We would each get $500 back. Dude, that's not bad money right now. If they had to give us the money back, we would each get $500. 500, I think that's kind of, it's not enough, but it's something. And Trump posted this: keep calm and tariff on. Keep calm and tariff on. All right. So we're not going to end the show here because I have to show you here. We have to go to our regular geniuses because even though we're over time, I'm sure everyone here, guys, it's Friday. You can stay a little later. Let's go to PBD.
Feel free to push back. I'm comfortable with it. And then there's the lions that live in the jungle who have to go get their own meat. I'll give you an idea. And you refuse to hunt. You email me, I won't respond. You DM me, I will not respond. Not on LinkedIn, not on Twitter. Dropping the N-word.
What did PBD have to say here? What did PBD have to say about the tariffs? This is important. He got Trump elected. He's a businessman. I'm a numbers guy. Okay? I look at the numbers and I say, oh, this is a good decision. I look at the numbers and I say, this is a decision. I like to eat Italian food. Can you pull that up, please? Pull that up. No, not that one. Scroll down, scroll down. No, scroll up, please, please, please. No, scroll down, scroll down. This is a businessman, okay? This is a businessman, Armenian, Assyrian, Iranian businessman, okay? What does he have to say to us about these tariffs? This is a guy who's an insider, okay? What does he have to say? Well, let's watch because Vinny's reaction is exactly what you'd expect. Vinny was very reasonable and immediately was very, very reasonable, okay?
Oh my God.
This just happened.
I struck down the tariffs.
This was going to happen.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God, Tom. Did you just see that?
Yeah, it's 6-3. I haven't seen the list of judges, but 6-3 has to mean that Comey and Roberts joined the three
Like, what the hell are they doing? What are they doing? What are they doing? We're winning, and it's working, and look at what we want to talk about the deep state. That's it right there.
So major breaking, the U.S. Supreme Court has just struck down President Trump's tariff authority 6-3.
Terrible.
Supreme Court just wrecked our country, one of the biggest economic comebacks in the world history, just thrown into.
By the way, Neil Gorsuch joined
Play the clip,
liberal
Play
majority.
the clip. Are they saying anything, or is it just an update?
I have not been able to check it out.
Let's just see the first 10 seconds.
We do. We've got a very fractured opinion, but initially what it's
has to be Amy
law that grants
Comey.
the president emergency powers did not, it looks like by this first blush reading by Justice, the Chief Justice here, does not give him the power to levy these tariffs that he's levied. Part of this initial opinion says the words regulate and importation. The president says that gives him the independent power to impose tariffs on imports from any country, any product, any rate, any time. These words, it says, cannot bear such weight.
How's the market reacting to it, Rob?
By Justice Kavanaugh.
Just go to the market. How's the
He's
market?
a numbers guy.
Right,
he has to check the market.
Uptick?
Unbelievable.
He's a numbers guy. We have to check the market.
It's an immediate uptick. Interesting.
Uptick in the market. Interesting.
Not by a lot. Not by a lot, but let's just see if it just happened in the last
30 minutes.
So when did this happen, Rob?
30 minutes ago.
This happened, this update about tariffs is how long ago? Did it just happen right now, or was it 30 minutes ago?
I saw like 12 minutes was when it
Everything I see, the first release, Pat, was 10:02 a.m. Eastern.
Yep, that's
half
about
hour
25
ago.
minutes ago.
Okay, guys, then the market's reacting to this. That's what the market's reacting to. Because the market was flat, 49,280, and then it went up 300. It went all the way up to 40. Yeah. So
why would the markets go up based on this
Well, you have
news?
to realize there are some people that.
So here we have the geniuses at the PBD podcast. Why would the market go up? I don't know. Maybe because lower trade barriers means higher profitability. I don't know. It's just Why would the market go up? Why would the market go up?
Shut up! Shut the fuck up! You have no right to take people Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Let's continue.
Are feeling like that pinch that they were paying the addition because the additional, they see it as a tax, as the way they're
short-term.
So a short-term tax.
It is a tax. And again, this is why Obama is the black person of the day. Everyone has become Obama with the ACA. This is a tax. You are collecting money in the form of duties. That is a tax. It is, in fact, one of the oldest taxes that has ever existed. The duty tax. The income tax is less of a tax because it only came about in the early 20th century. Paying duties goes back to antiquity. It's a tax.
That they were paying on this. This is one of those things I do not like. Listen, I was with Rand Paul, and I asked him the question, and I said, Rand, why does the president keep bringing up the fact that if the Supreme Court rules against tariffs, why does he keep saying that? He says, because it's most likely going to rule against the tariffs.
Yeah,
he said this 3 weeks ago. Remember that when I came back and I shared that? Yeah, so interesting. Tom, what do you think is going to happen next?
So I'll tell you what I think is going to happen, but I'll add this. CNN is reporting that Neil Gorsuch joined Roberts and Barrett in the moderate opinion, joining the liberals. So Neil Gorsuch, appointed by Trump, is one of the judges that voted, making it 6-3, not 5-4. I was expecting 5-4 because I was expecting Comey and Roberts to sit on the moderate middle where they've been. So what this means, I trust Scott Bessent. And Scott Bessent said there are other tools that they can use to negotiate. I think there's going to be a lot of celebration. Oh, we defeated Trump and stuff. But you got to go back and look. There's a lot of trade deals, several trade deals that were key that got done because the tariffs were there. And tariffs were coming back. Just yesterday, Japan said they were investing $30 or $40 billion in the U.S. in a natural gas power plant in Ohio, and that Trump was pulling back tariffs to 15% on certain things. And so I think that this is bad for Trump, and the mainstream media is going to run with it and say, he's been given a bloody nose by the Supreme Court. Oh, look, Neil Gorsuch has joined. It's one of his own judges. You're going to hear all that. But he used the tariffs as tactics, not taxes. They didn't turn out to be taxes. The CPI.
Now we're everybody is a modernist till a real Baudrillardian pulls up. When a real Baudrillardian pulls up, everybody gangsta till a real Baudrillardian shows up. Now we're gonna play with words. Okay. They were a tactic, not a tax. When Obama did this, it was, he's the worst person ever. He's literally evil. But now we're all magicians. Now we're all magicians over here. We're all doing a little magic. Okay, I see. Duties are not taxes if they're used as tactics. That's a bar. Put that in the next Kendrick Lamar album. There we go. I get it. I understand what's going on here. Okay, Tom. Thank you. All right. Can you believe this, dude? I literally couldn't believe it. And everything says, so Patrick knew about this, but is asking the stock market. Hey, he's a numbers guy, okay? Even if he knows, he has to check the numbers. You have to check the numbers every single time, okay? That's how you know.
Consumer Price Index was 0.1 less year over year. Which was just released last week. So the tariffs didn't cause the great inflation. That's not a claim. That's a statistical fact from the data coming from our own government. So I think what you're going to see here is Trump has to take different tactics to negotiate internationally, B, but A, mainstream media and the Dems are going to run with this and saying, see, I told you he was a monarch. I told you he was dictator. I told you he was wielding a red pen like a king. No kings. You're going to hear all that crap. And so, but What has really happened here is he's going to have to change his tactics. And let's remember what happened in the middle. Between now and a year ago, those tariffs were used to successfully negotiate trade agreements in the benefit of America first, not America only, but America first.
I could make another argument for what I think the president should do. I'd read this quote: "When Congress grants the power to impose tariffs, it does so clearly and with careful constraints," Roberts wrote. "It did neither here." Now, while I don't agree with that, I think the president was absolutely within his rights. What I think folks in your audience who stand with Trump need to do is they need to call people like me and say, pass a bill to give him those tariffs. What the Supreme Court is saying is not that the president can't impose tariffs.
Back on Congress. Yeah.
Well, what they're not saying he can't impose tariffs. They're saying he didn't have the congressional authority to impose tariffs. So we have a choice. We have a choice. And look, it may make us blow up the filibuster in the Senate, but we do have a slight majority in the House.
Please do.
And we do have a slight majority in the Senate. And so we, as a Congress, can choose to give him that power, because what President Trump has done is he has brought in an extraordinary amount of money to the country in the form of these tariffs, which really are just sales taxes on foreign goods. He's reduced the trade deficit. He's making people invest in this country.
Okay, they're sales taxes now. I get it. They're sales tax. So can I ask you, is my local sales tax a tariff too? Should we call the 7.5 cents that I pay at the grocery store a tariff? We're getting real loose with the language here. And I think at the end of the day, what this language actually is I have the gun, you have the money, hand it over. This is ridiculous. There's a reason sales tax has a name, because it was a scam put in the 1930s by some racist guy out of Alabama. I forget his name. He did the first one, I think in Alabama or Mississippi. I can't remember. This is a total scam. Like, this is retarded. Like, yeah, okay. I do think that's Randy Fine, guys. I do. It's hard to recognize him with the beard. They don't even say who their guest is here. Yeah, Randy Fine. Randy Fine. This is Randy Fine. Yes. He has that beard. God, bro, he has bad acne. He has bad skin. The Hebrew Hammer. The Hebrew Hammer. Brother, you know it's not a sales tax. It is not a sales tax. It's not a sales tax. Iron Hammer's asking about Tucker and Mike Huckabee. I haven't seen it yet, dude. Is it worth checking out? I'll check it out if you say it's good.
He's bringing down the deficit, and he is using it as a.
He is not bringing down the deficit. He did bring down the trade deficit, but the deficit is still growing.
Is to wield other people. And what the Supreme Court's not doing is saying other countries can't tariff us.
Exactly.
And that is what is apparently everyone thinks tariffs are a great idea when China and Europe and everyone else does it to the United States, but it's the worst idea in the world when we do it back. So I think what people ought to be doing is picking up the phone, calling their congressmen and say, fine, if the Supreme Court says the president doesn't have the power, then you all give it to him.
And here we see the real ideology of decline. And this is why things are going to get weirder and weirder. Yes, Europe and Asia use tariffs. That's true. No one has a problem with it. The reason why, only China is the exception in that China tariffs everyone, like they tariff literally everyone, which if you look at John Carney, who was a writer for Breitbart, he had a really good argument for tariffs. He's kind of the guy who showed me how tariffs work back in 2015. He was writing really interesting pieces about tariffs. China was doing like this very Friedrich List strategy for anyone familiar with economics, where if you tariff everyone else and no one tariffs you back, you're actually in a very good position. However, the United States, and here we can see the decline, the United States is a country that is the head of an empire. When you are now retreating into yourself, into the hinterland to produce for yourself, you really are demonstrating that you're retiring from that empire status. And this is not something, I'm not Peter Schiff or Tim Pool. This is not a short-term thing. This is a long-term thing. This is over the next 300 years. As America recedes back into itself, you are giving up power abroad. The reason the United States didn't have tariffs on anyone is because we bombed the shit out of everybody. That's why we did it, because Europe and Asia were decimated, and we wanted them to get production up, and we wanted to consume cheap consumer goods that they made. That's why. And they would tariff us because we were the powerhouse. We were the ones that had all of the best stuff, and they would not be able to develop without tariffs. But as this country recedes, as this country loses influence, this is the line of questioning you're going to hear.
Imagine if you are a leader of China or Iran or Russia, you know what you're saying? You know, it's kind of like, remember when Mayweather was fighting Pacquiao or whoever it was, he would say, go talk to your boss. Go talk to your boss. Go talk to Bob Arum. Go talk to Don. I don't have to talk to anybody. I'm my own boss. These places like China and Russia are going to sit there and say, you think you have power? Ha, ha, ha. We're going to put tariffs on you. No, you're not. So then the question becomes the following. Is for somebody who moves as quickly as an operator, as a capitalist that competes in free enterprise, and a founder, guess what you like? You like that you can make a decision what? Very quickly versus slowly. And I got to go through the process of all this other stuff. This is why some people prefer working for a small business ran by a founder than working for a corporation ran by committees and a bunch of different people. So, Tom, Randy, this kind of comes to you guys. Do you think he is now going to sit there and say, because you know.
That's enough. Patrick Bet David just said that we should run the country like a founder in a business, implying that we need a sort of dictatorship in the country where the courts are erased. And I'm not surprised to see it, especially Patrick Bet David, who is from Iran. That is a country of despotism. Is a country of kings, of ayatollahs, with one brief period of democracy, which was snuffed in the crib. So I'm not surprised to see that. I myself, as a Badralardian, I'm not surprised to see that. I think we're going to have a rising sentiment of that demand. We need things to make sense. We have the average person has a sense of nihilism where, and I include myself, man, you want things to make sense. But over time, I have shed that. I have decided that things will never make sense, and they probably never did. And people want things to make sense. They think that things making sense will save them. I'm not sure that's the case. I really doubt it. I think that that's not true. But whatever. This is what's expected. We're going to see this happening. We're going to see this increase. Why is the chat cut off? And this is just a matter of how it works, man. Like this is just the world. What are we gonna do about it? We're gonna cry about it like a bunch of babies. We want Lee Kuan Yew in America, and that's what we want. So, wait, no, that was wrong. How do I do this again? How do I do this, man? Chat. No, that makes it bigger. It's shift. No. Control. No. I'll figure that out after. This is just going to happen, man. It's going to happen. I always admired the United States for its common law system and all that, but the rise of Caesarism, read some Spengler, man. You'll see it. It's coming, and there's no reason to be angry about it. It's just what's going to happen as this place declines. Don't be angry about where you're at on the timeline, man. May you live in interesting times. Chinese proverb. All right? So there you have it, man. That's our tariff update. Let's check who's on Bill Maher tonight. Who's on Bill Maher? Let's see who's on Bill Maher. I need to go stab myself in the balls after this. He hasn't released new rules. I'm sorry, overtime yet? Who's on Bill Maher? Who's on Bill Maher? Who is on Bill Maher? Okay. Lauren Boebert. What? James Tallarico. We're doing a segment on him next week. What? Ooh, this is going to be good. Lauren Boebert and Mr. Tallarico. Two great scammers. Wow. Okay. I wonder who the mystery guest is because I guess he left. Should we check it out? Let's see here. Someone uploaded the full episode. I'll just skip to that part and see who it is.
Keep the old man out.
Who is this?
If you feel good, you take care of yourself. Just live your life, live the moment.
Who is that? Who is on Bill Maher tonight? Paul Anka, singer-songwriter. Am I just an out-of-touch Zoomer here? What has he done? Paul Anka. Put your head on my shoulder. I didn't know that who sang that. That's crazy. All right, Paul Anka. You are my destiny, Diana. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. I don't know anything about Paul Anka. Maybe I'll watch that. I usually skip the celeb ones. All right, everyone. There you have your tariff update. Let's do some for Black Person of the Day. We had Obama. What's another great Obama quote? We had, you didn't build that. What's another Obama quote? Obama, if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. What about that one? Like your doctor. Let's see if that one's there. Yeah. Let's watch this one. A great Obama moment. Barack Hussein Obama. Let's watch him on the big screen. Relive those nice memories.
If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor under the reform proposals that we put forward. If you like your private health insurance plan, you can keep it. If you like the plan you have, you can keep it. If you like the doctor you have, you can keep your doctor too. We will keep this promise to the American people. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor. Period.
Let me be clear. I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me be clear. We need you liking, commenting, and subscribing. Everyone right now, please take a moment and hit the like button. Let me be clear. Go back and hype the videos of this week, the backyard videos. I was going to do another one, but I have been under the weather since that tree branch fell on me. So, steak and pussy too. Absolutely, Mr. Elu. Gotta have them ribs. Let's do that one again. That was a great one.
Yeah, another guy said, but I tell you what, you won't see me moving to no African jungle anytime soon. Or some goddamn desert somewhere sitting on a carpet with a bunch of Arabs. No, sir. And you won't see me stop eating no ribs either. Gotta have them ribs. And pussy too. Don't Malcolm talk about no pussy? Now
That was our former president. Thank you, Mike John, for hitting like. Mike John, I thought you hated me. Well, as I reread the chats, I'm like, Mike John and I, we just disagree. Mike John I appreciate that a lot, Mike John. I thought that we had like a contentious relationship. But you're an open-minded guy. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mike John. My fake Floridian friend. All right, guys. We got the links in the description for the Discord and everything. Join the Discord. Join the Patreon. I'll have a new video of the King Louie Movie Club up by Sunday. I think it's going to be a Sunday thing. Dude, look at this, man. The tree hit me right here. There, my back. Let me see, dude. Let's get a little frisky tonight. Let me show you what it did to my shoulder here, dude. This was to my clavicle. This was crazy. Look at this. Look at this here. Look at this. Look at that. I got that. I got some nasty shit on my arm. It's terrible, man. That tree fell and it's crazy shit. Wow. Eve says, I will see if King Leo wants to make 2-day weekly religious holidays, both Saturday and Sunday. We'll see. We'll see. I do want to rest, but the show goes on, Damn, dude, this tree. I hate my clavicle. I really have always hated this bone. Not for any aesthetic reason. I don't like being touched on the clavicle or the spine. But I didn't hit my spine or my head, dude. It's crazy. Not safe for workplace. Dude, hang on. Let me see if I can show you my arm. Look at this. Look at this shit, man. I have a terrible, chichon over here. Chichon is like a bruise, the ones that come up. Let me see if I can get this up here. Let me see. Can you see that? It's right here. This is like all inflamed. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. Ugh. Terrible. I'm glad I'm okay. All right, guys. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Century, as our president said. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that like button. The like button is free. Thank you, Mike John. We have different opinions, but that's all. I don't hold grudges. I appreciate you, Mike John. I really do. That's the kind of people we like to attract to the channel. We like to attract people of all stripes. You and Forehead, I think, are like the most MAGA guys we have here. But we also have some communists, we have some leftists, we have some rhino Republicans, we have a little bit of everything. We have some like Nick Fuentes fans. So stop hugging trees. I wasn't hugging it, I was cutting it down. Cutting down the stupid branch. Just fucking boom. I rented one of those chainsaws on a stick from Home Depot. By the way, that's the hack. Don't ever buy that shit. It's $90 a day. You buy that, you can do whatever you want. Sorry, you rent it, you can do whatever you want for a whole day. They even include the oil and the gasoline. Totally worth it. Thank you, Eves. I really appreciate that. I will see you guys next week. Like, comment, subscribe, share the channel. The subscriber number, guys, I'm trying to get it up, so make sure you subscribe. But I was informed today that this is January and February are the slowest months on YouTube, except for the summer dip. So, not surprised. We'll get there. We're getting there. I just want to hit that 2,500 number so that we can get escape velocity. I will see you guys next week. Appreciate you tuning in.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.